earlier this week, hey, what's going on? This is Research Revolution. Earlier this week, David Rockefeller, his heart transplant didn't take. That's what I was reading in the article. So,
interesting.
so apparently, yeah, I guess it was kind of like, I don't know, like surgery that he went in there, and I guess the heart that he got, I don't know, to be honest
Or
with you.
he's just so evil, it like
They were
just like
saying that he
naturally
already,
rejected.
yeah, well, it said that earlier this week he had a heart transplant, but I'm going, well, wait, he already had 6 heart transplants, so 8th heart transplant, or did they? It's probably the same heart. I don't know.
No, it's got to
They were
be a
like
different
earlier
heart
this.
because the way they were describing in the article I was reading was like, no, this is the 7th organ that he's had like thrown into his chest, right? Like these are like not brand new hearts, but like functioning hearts.
Well, that's just a scary
Fucking this
thing.
guy.
I mean, that you want to get into about I don't know, because this wasn't on. Yeah, he just had his 7th heart transplant. But I want to read this article. This is a different one than I was reading, but I want to read this one. I see what this says, because I don't know what he meant by. No, this is the one right here. Yeah,
I'm listening on my phone. Just I'm not looking on my
so
computer.
obviously, no other human being, I mean, would have 7 heart transplants. I mean, really? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But
Come on.
$3 billion. There's a lie. But it says.
Oh, you mean how much you got?
Yeah, that's a bullshit number right there. 3 billion. Yeah, right.
It's like, yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, it said. Oh, it's in the very first thing. Heart transplant after the last one failed earlier this week. See what I'm saying?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So if they replace, so he just has heart after heart after heart. I mean,
yeah,
so,
that's what I mean, man. And like
so
now
they're claiming that it's his 7th, but he already had his 6th. And then if his 7th didn't take, I mean, this might be his 8th.
Oh, okay, I see.
See what I'm saying? They're saying it's his 7th, but they didn't report. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. I didn't hear about this earlier this week.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the first article that was written about it. I put it up as soon as I mean, if you go back, this is
no, that's what I meant about like I was reading it like right before you like literally seconds before you posted that. And the article I was reading was like just
when
posted.
he was 99 2 years ago, he had his 6th heart transplant.
Oh god. Somebody just needs to kill that guy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. How many heart transplants did Dick Cheney have?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think he's had 3. Let me see. Oh, that did
yeah, it's donezo. It's gone.
What do you mean?
Like
yeah, you can't view it. It says it's blocked worldwide.
Yeah, I actually listened to it last night before it got blocked.
Yeah, it got blocked. It took them a little bit, but they blocked it. Like everybody's saying they can't see it, so whatever. It's all good.
Well, I mean, that's I thought when you messaged me earlier today that it was like you were blocked, like how
Oh no.
Oh, that's awesome. I thought it meant like you couldn't like post anything anymore. I'd be like, damn, that's pretty harsh for a first strike.
Oh, it's definitely not my first strike. Here.
It's definitely not my first strike.
It's not. I have like 7 strikes.
Seriously, dude.
Yeah, I do.
Wow. That's kind of awesome.
But I don't know if I've ever got a strike on my Hangout. But I have an educational thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. People talk about getting a strike and then not being able to post, but I don't know. Maybe there's some cool people at YouTube because, but you know what? I'm a small channel. Bigger channels, they fuck with more.
Oh well, yeah, no,
They
totally.
fuck with me. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't understand how I've gotten those. I've taken them down. So if you take them down, it doesn't count, or I don't really understand what's going on
Yeah, I mean,
with
I
the.
think that's what Derek was trying to say yesterday was like, well, yeah, like if you take it down, then it's whatever. But does that mean they take the strike away? Like, no, probably not. Like, you still have a strike
I
or
think they
whatever.
do. Yeah, I don't think I'd be operational if they didn't take that. Yeah, I don't think I'd be operational. Every time I've got
Oh,
it, I've just erased whatever they said that. Yeah,
oh, okay. All right, cool.
but I don't know
Huh.
exactly. I should do more research into that. Actually, we're on the
Totally.
research revolution.
Like with
What's
the
up with Oh, so is that how you spell Cheney? No.
Cheney.
How many? How many?
Pretty sure it's Cheney. Oh, let me watch this first.
Oh, damn! I forgot. I just I had the thing in there. Oh well.
Well, hey, because you were streaming it live, like you still have like the video file for that though, still
What?
for the stream last night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
it's
was
still
just wondering.
no, it's still up there. I just don't think people could watch it.
No,
I've
no, you
got
can't watch it.
I've
But
gotten
I was
a whole
wondering if you
bunch of
still had
comments
the.
saying that like it's bunk. It's blocked everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was just wondering if you still had like the original file though.
I do.
Okay, cool,
It's like 4.5 hours. Yeah.
awesome, cool. I was just wondering like how that worked too, because I didn't know like what the deal was with
Oh, that's why.
like oh like I'm streaming and then all of a sudden because like you were streaming. I just don't know. I guess I'm still trying to figure out too like what the deal is with like making like videos and like stream. I'm just trying to navigate all that crap and whether or not they
What
get paid.
what I need to put the thing in the chat because I need to see the chat because you're on your phone, right?
Yeah,
I need to
yeah,
because I wanted to ask people in the chat. I really want the chat to be involved with
totally. And I think that's what like Bernie was trying to do was like moderate that so that like when because he was all over it, he usually is. He's like usually the person that's like responding and talking to people. Like I check in, like I try to like every 20 minutes, but that doesn't mean I'm seeing everything. But
I really want to.
that's
People were
weird. You
talking
can't
about.
see the
They're
chat
really
stuff.
confused. People are talking about this blue beam, or not blue beam. Sorry, I'm getting confused. They're talking about the super moon because a lot of people have seen the moon that night, and it wasn't. It seems like it's totally off. They're like, "Wait, I saw the moon, and it wasn't." It's really weird that they did that. And I was thinking, since this people were seeing stuff and now they're not, and it seems like it's the same color, the moon. It seems like it's the same color as I have footage of me that night. I went to King Harbor and I just got I got a little video of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I know it like when it's on the horizon, it's bigger and stuff. So I understand that, but I just want to know if they're using some. A couple people were saying how they might think
Like
there.
some sort of projection.
Yeah, if they're covering up. I know that they're covering up because Richie got that thing and he completely can't see the plane. It comes out of the LCD screen sky.
No, absolutely. And I don't know if you follow that Thor News guy, but it reminded me of this video I seen on Thor News where he has this video of like sort of the same thing where it's like this white orb, like this unidentified object, is going towards the St. Louis Arch, and then it like goes into it, and then it disappears, and then it reappears on like the other side of town, and it like shows up, and then it just drops to the ground.
See,
And then
so
like, and then somebody else was, I think Richie from Boston too, or maybe the other guy who was like showing Richie from Boston's video was showing
right,
like the white
yeah,
orb thing. Yeah.
yeah. But I know about the orbs. Apparently, when the orbs were seen on 9/11 and they were all over the sky, when they turn on the technology, and the RF frequencies converge, it at the lines of convergence, the orbs, when they converge, the orbs manifest. So
Huh.
it's kind of like a signal that they're using whatever technology that is. I think it's just a manifestation of the RF frequency interacting.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
is the moon that I got, and this is in Los Angeles. And the same night earlier in New York, obviously because I don't have the exact time, but New York is 3 hours difference, right?
Yes.
So there was that, and it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't. I don't know. I'm trying to, and then people were saying how they saw the moon that night, and it was nothing like that, and it just came out of nowhere, and it seems like they.
Sorry.
Whoa,
I gotta get out of one of these.
Bernie Trump. Who's that? Maps.
It's me.
Oh, you're dual. You're on. Oh, you're on your computer now.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get this off.
Yeah. All right. Let me see here.
Sorry, I'm still here.
This chick was talking about it too. She had a dream of the of Florida. A lot of weird dreams. People are having a lot of freaking dreams.
Huh.
I wanted to get to the live stream, but I always have a problem doing this. I need to figure out how to do this like quick.
Are we live streaming right now?
Invite people, hang out, copy, close. Put that in there. Hang out. Don't you ever do that again.
I was trying to see what your screen looked like because I'm on the phone, but I looked on because I didn't know that we were streaming either.
Yeah, I clicked it. Oh. Okay, I've read the rules and ...
5 people are watching. Hello, people.
Take me there. Ah, hell. I always have problems with this, man.
Me too, man. It's like a fucking never-ending circle of nonsense.
Yeah, it's a circle of like hell. You can't get out of it, man.
I know.
It's like I just want to get to the chat. I always have problems with this.
Well, can you like? Oh, I guess you can't open a second YouTube video, can you? Like a second tab, and
Yeah.
then go on to your page from there, maybe?
Yeah, I figure it out sometimes, but
That's the only way I can think of, like you looking at the chat. Unless I make my page the chat of what I'm streaming on YouTube, like if I screen shared the chat, that would be so retarded. But hey, whatever works, whatever makes it happen.
all right, I gotta cut some of these down. See, so it says live now.
Cool. And just just to say in general, like give me a heads up, like when you're like, oh yeah, okay, so now we're live, because so I know.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I mean, I don't care. It was just I think I was like one of the first. I mean, I do care to a certain extent. I just want to know like whether or not the things I'm saying are private or not. Not that I don't love you people out there in YouTube land, but you know, just in general. And I remember the one of the first ones like we did. One of the first couple of comments was like, "Oh, this chick curses too much" and stuff like that. But like to be honest, I didn't even know that we were streaming, right? So Bernie Trump was like hitting me up. It's like, yeah, some people posted some comments, and then like right after he sent me that, you put that music video up where that dude was like, "Fuck Illuminati, fuck this guy, fuck that guy." And I was like, oh well, I guess he doesn't care, so whatever.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, you know what? I was actually looking to watch some YouTube tutorials. If there's anybody out there listening
Okay, got
to
it.
us on YouTube and have some examples or suggestions for like how-to videos on how to make like shit on YouTube legit, I definitely appreciate it. It's hard to
The
find
link in
people out there.
the chat, and then I want to
Cool.
get the hell out of this thing.
Hey, did you listen? You probably didn't, but Jeranism has a new video up where he like was in this debate with these people, and it was like I listened to it this morning, because I didn't like after I got off the stream with you guys, I don't think I went to bed till like maybe noon today or whatever. My whole time cycle's changing for some reason. I mean, I was always kind of a nighttime person, but now it's like getting ridiculous. Like like this time of night feels like the beginning of the morning to me. Like I'm super awake right now. Whereas like 11 o'clock in the morning earlier today, I was like, oh, I need to go to bed. But
Yeah, we all saw the split sky on Richie from Boston. Absolutely. Oh, sorry, I'm in the chat.
oh, good,
Um,
good. You can see the chat. Yeah, awesome.
Madness says so. 8 people half his age died waiting for one chance to live longer. Absolutely. People
Fuck
are
yeah.
reporting unscheduled blood moons a lot, but it is never all over the country. Well, just to let you know, the blood moon wasn't in Los Angeles. I didn't see it. That shot was from New York City. But the same night I got the moon, and there was nothing. There was nothing. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Nothing
no,
really
totally.
special about it.
And is it red because of like an atmospheric thing? I mean, I don't know, but
Well,
like, is
they
it
say
just?
that Planet X. All right, I'm gonna keep this. So what they say about Planet X is that
But I mean, like, what does science say? Like a blood moon is made from, right? Like, why is it so red? Do you know? Do you know why? Like science, like what science's official answer on that is?
science. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what science is telling me. Science is full of shit these days.
No, totally. I'm just wondering, just in comparison, like what they think in terms of like what makes it that color, so that like I understand sort of why somebody might not see it somewhere else. Like what their explanation would be for that, right? Like why are people in New York seeing it red, whereas Take Back Space, who was filming that night, as far as I understand, um, filmed and the moon was not red, right? So, but he's in Florida, right? So
Says
that's
the
what I
Earth's
want to understand.
shadow is red at the edges for the same reason a sunset is red. When sunlight is scattered by passing through Earth's atmosphere, the other colors of the spectrum are removed. In a solar eclipse, the moon casts its shadow on Earth.
Okay. Okay.
See what I'm saying? So it's bullshit because how did they? So if they're just saying that it's red because it's passing through the Earth's atmosphere, then why did they? Why did we know that? You know what I'm saying? How did they know that they were scheduled, the 4 ones that we had, and then how did the one that happened a couple of days ago just pop out of nowhere? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. How did they know that there was going to be a blood moon if it all it is the atmosphere? They could predict atmospheric condition. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
It
I think
just
it has to do, from what I understand with the supermoon thing, is that like the moon, for some reason in its orbit on that particular day or whatever is like closer to us as opposed to other days. Totally wrong with that, but it's also this idea that the moon is like closer to us than usual, and that's why it appears so big. I could be totally wrong about that. Like, please, anybody on the chat, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, definitely through the atmosphere, it distorts things and makes things bigger. When there's a sunset on the water on the west coast here, it gets sometimes it gets really huge. You know what I'm saying? And then there's other times where it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like it's an atmospheric condition.
Yeah, and then I also
But
think about. Go ahead. Go ahead.
what I'm wondering is how did they know that it was going to be a blood moon? Like, oh, we have a blood moon coming up on this day, and they knew it was going to be a blood moon. Well, that's not atmospheric conditions. How did they predict the atmospheric conditions? You know what I'm saying?
Well, well, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. The atmospheric conditions, yeah. How would they know? Well, I mean,
How would they know like months in advance?
huh. Yeah, that's kind of true.
It just doesn't make sense what they're saying. It really doesn't. And the one
Well,
that happened a couple of days ago was super. It was more blood red than the some of the blood moons that they said that were going to happen. And I went out at 3 in the morning because that's when they said it was going to be the reddest and da da da. And it was only like yeah, it was a little red, but the one that happened a couple of days ago was like ungodly red.
yeah, I mean, I
I mean, okay,
I wish I could have seen it with my
let's
eyes, because the pictures, you never know if those are like are doc.
let's check out these pictures. Blood moon. No, this was a couple days ago. Yeah, this is like 3 days ago. It says 2 days. I think it was 3 days, but it said, huh? It was August 23rd, so it's 3 days ago. It says 2 days,
Okay.
but
I'm just wondering if like that's how like red it was. I just wish I saw it with my eyes, because
I mean that's huge, dude. That's huge.
it's
That's
pretty neat.
gnarly.
And I don't know if you did a video on that too, but um the fucking like tornadoes that happened in Indiana yesterday. So
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
all
Bagley
the
was talking about
newscasters
that.
were like, I saw it on Thor News, and yeah, they were playing all these like weathercasters, or on he was playing a bunch of weathercasters that were like, yeah, we couldn't predict that, it came out of nowhere. And then he was talking about, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a thing, but he was talking about how like they were a family of tornadoes.
Hey, that's me.
You mean, hey, that's you? I'm still on my phone cooking, so I don't see what you're saying.
Oh, the picture. It said research revolution. Here, let me see. Yeah, it was a screenshot of my thing. Look.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
fucking
know how
crazy.
Google inventories it, but let me see, 6 days ago? So, okay, hold on. When was the full moon it was like it was like 4 days ago. Okay, when was the full moon?
Let's download that stuff on your computer.
Strawberry Moon?
Strawberry
But
moon.
that's June. That's June 20th.
It's funny.
So August 18th. See what I'm saying, dude? August 18th.
Huh.
And that was a totally full moon on the 23rd. Oh.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? Like shit isn't making sense here.
That doesn't make sense at all. That's too many days. That's too many days that's gone by. And that's interesting because I don't know if you can see the moon now.
Yep.
Want me to type on here?
Yeah, 3 days ago.
Dude,
The
that's fucking
23rd.
sketch.
It says 24th. So 2 days ago. But no, 3 days ago. They're screwing with the numbers because it was the 23rd. And it says 3 days ago, but this is the 24th. Let's see what this says. This is 24th, but it was written the day after, so yeah, it was the 23rd.
That's kind of fucking with the timeline, dude. Because think it, yeah.
Definitely behind the one world trade. It definitely was a new world order type of something. Something was going on, and how they couldn't have. This is August 24th at 3:33. Nope, 23rd. Like I said.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So people. Okay, so no. This was the 23rd late at night, or like practically in the morning. So it turned into the 24th. So the night of the 23rd, there was a full blood super moon. A full blood super moon.
Huh.
But it only happened over like New York.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Because
mean,
usually, I mean, what I'm surprised is that like nobody else like that's the only city that it was caught in,
yeah, and
right? Not even like an East Coast thing, right? Or even a Northeast thing. It's just like the city, that city. So this thing, I don't know why. I was having this issue on my computer too. Like, um,
is that you, Maps? Bernie
yeah,
Trump, pop out the chat, James, so you can see.
it just like downloads on my phone for some reason. Like if I hit download, like look,
Pop out the chat.
I hit download, but it just plays it in a new window, right? But if I hit download on
Hey,
my
can you
phone,
pause your can you mute your thing when you're talking?
yes.
Well, here, let me try something.
How do you pop out the chat, dude? Um, you guys want to be moderators? So you could put links and stuff. Just let me know, okay, in the chat. I'll how do you pop out the chat? What? Oh, that was Lone Star Media. If somebody could click on the dots on the right. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, pop out chat. Fair enough. Well, what do you know? E? That's awesome. Thank you. Let's see here. So that's going to stay there. So let me make this a little bit littler. Okay. Hold on, guys. I'm just going to, oh, don't you do me. Okay. Go down here. Okay. Now, isn't that special? Okay, go like this. There you go. So now we're going to have the chat always there. Can you guys see the chat in the live thing? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let me put it over here so I can do it like this. Like that. Like that. Oh, here's my my writing. Oh, let me do this like this. Let me get my calculator. I got my notepad. Okay, notepad. Let's make this smaller. Getting all the tools that possibly would need. Oh gosh. Okay. Now, we got that. Okay. Okay. What the hell is my... That's weird that that can't stay there like that. Okay. All right. Well, it keeps going away. What's going on, Marie? Justin in Buffalo. What up? Molly McDowell said she never noticed the moon like that there. If you guys want to come in, you guys have the link. I completely understand. Just wanting to chill, but put in the chat. You know, some things. What's going on in your world over there? You guys have heard? Did you guys hear about Rockefeller's seventh heart? What have you guys heard as far as news? Anything interesting? Molly, Marie. Sign Weaver says, okay, this is getting interesting. I'm in for the long haul. All right. Getting crazy here. Yeah, I like that attitude. All right. I don't like how that thing. Uh-oh. Somebody knows me. How do I know you, Molly McDowell? Oh, his face. I thought you said hi face. I was like, hey, how did you know that? Maps? Am I riding solo? Well, fair enough. All right.
Hey man, sorry, I'm here. I'm still here.
I don't hate you because you're a hillbilly.
Hillbillies are cool.
But
But yeah, there's like 3 years of shit on there.
All right, so
Anything good on the chat? Anybody bring anything up interesting?
no, they're just chatting. So 23. Oh, 23. That's a there's an Illuminati.
Hey, did you see the Julian Assange lawyer thing that they said that he died exactly at 7:07?
Really?
Yeah. They were like, yeah, he died, he got hit by the train exactly at 7:07. Like, look it up.
Let's check that out, please. Oh, I want to get into this revelation. There's some things I want to get into. I want to keep all that. Yeah, this old bastard got his seventh heart transplant, just for everybody to know. All right, what did you say?
Oh, I was talking about the yeah, the 7:07.
Oh, Julian Assange.
Yeah. I noticed that today when I was like looking that up.
Oh no, the lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyer.
He's gonna die pretty soon too. His source died. His lawyer died. They penetrated the Ecuadorian embassy. Some guy with the rope. We can get into that.
Yeah, and we should talk about Merkel too.
Oh, and Merkel. I think it was set up to give her sympathy. I don't know. But I heard the guy, it was in a car, loaded to the tilt, right? And he basically blended into the caravan. He blended into Merkel rides like deep, like, like a presidential with
Yeah,
like, you know,
totally.
and a bulletproof Mercedes 4x4 crept in like it was part of the pack, and just like was keeping it like, it was just like, oh, I'm part of this thing, and they were like, and they somehow like did something, but I don't know.
Oh, dude, and that was something I wanted to mention. I think I was telling Bernie Trump about this yesterday, but yeah, I don't remember. I think I heard it on THC. I gotta look it up again, or maybe I heard it on Crow, but this new chick that's like replacing Cameron, she's
Mm-hmm.
she's related to John Wilkes Booth.
Mm.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I can't like.
Was it on an article? Did they give the exact time? Who said that?
Here, let me go look at the article on my computer. I'll like go through my history and I'll like screen share it.
This is
It's
the one that I
weird. Like,
saw. It said one of UK's most represented international criminal lawyers, who was representing Wiki founder Julian Assange, has died after being hit by a train sent by Hillary Clinton in West Hampstead.
wait,
Married father of two, John Jones, QC, worked at renowned legal chambers, Doughty Street, and died last Monday morning. Police say they are not treating the death as suspicious. Well, isn't that fucking special?
yeah, yeah, that I saw too. That was fucking sketch as well. I was like, seriously, you're not considering this suspicious, considering who's
Well,
lawyer?
that's what big money in the government. If the government is literally, I mean, you could equate Clinton with the government, and basically, if that's happening, I feel as if like she's a part of this, whatever this, she has black ops mercenaries like at her disposal, or she's been killing people for a long time, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, well, yes. No, absolutely. No, that's absolutely true.
But it doesn't give the time here. I mean, the article was written on the 15th, uh, but okay, so it says he was killed. What is the day that he was killed?
Good question. Uh,
It says Monday, but
Here we go. I need to find the thing again.
I mean, news these days is so hard to like. They memory hole everything. It's like, give me the date that he died. Give me like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't
Yeah,
even
no,
say the date that he died.
I even
Come
have
on.
well, I'm trying to get, I mean, my computer is like being fucking retarded right now, so
No, it's all good. I'm just
No, I mean I get it, but like, fuck, dude. I was thinking about this a lot. How like we're living in this false paradigm that somehow because we have fucking the internet, like why is this happening right now? Like, and that I have this computer that I'm using. Like clearly, I'm fucking using it right now, and it's like not letting me do what I want to do. And the same thing with fucking Google. It's like or the internet in general. There's no reason why it shouldn't work, and yet that shit happens all the fucking time.
right. See,
Come
dude, this is the
on.
same article. This is what I'm talking about. This is what when I the other stream that I was researching. This seems like the only article.
Huh, really? And
Yeah,
a bunch.
it keeps going to the same article, even though it's different things. Same picture, same article, just different.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? Daily costs, red flags news is the same. There's the same exact, like pretty much the same exact thing.
It's just the same thing over and over again. Okay, here we go. Here we go. It's on endingthefed.com and
Ending the Fed.
yeah,
Got it.
endingthefed.com.
Got it.
And yeah, let me find where it says.
I'm gonna go through the whole article and we're gonna put up the numbers.
Okay, well, fuck. It doesn't have the fucking numbers anymore. That's fucking weird.
It doesn't. See what I'm saying? They memory hole it. They literally do that.
What the fuck, man? All right, now I'm pissed. Now I'm
Oh, right here, 7:07 a.m.
okay.
All right. So according to Before It's News, here's more news that you don't get in the U.S. mainstream media. John Jones, 48, one of Britain's top human rights lawyers who represented Julian Assange, was killed last Monday. Last Monday. So hold on. Last Monday.
Not this Monday then. Not this past Monday that just came.
No, April 18th. It's right here. Yeah, April 18th. So, and they're saying he was run over by a commuter train. Okay, this guy's a lawyer. This guy's smart. I don't understand how he could have got run over by a train unless he was pushed or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
and they're not. Well, they're not saying it's a suicide rate, and they're also not saying that like it was a accident, right? So
he was
what the
struck
fuck?
by a train. So he wasn't even in a car. So a man was struck by a train. So they killed him or they beat him up and they took him there and then somehow they put him in front of a train. I don't understand how you can get struck by a train, a lawyer being out in front of a train. It just he was reportedly pronounced dead at the scene and his death is not being treated as suspicious. The event occurred almost 1 month to the day of the first batch of Clinton emails released. Yeah, obviously we know that. WikiLeaks said inquest rules that death of Julian Assange's lawyer, John Jones, CQ, was not suicide, opening door to lawsuits. Wait, inquest rules that death of Julian Assange's lawyer, John Jones, CQ, was not suicide, opening door to lawsuits. So it's not a suicide.
Yeah,
So it's a murder.
yeah. No, but they're not saying it's suspicious either. So
Oh,
that's how they do that, right?
yeah, they just put it. They say, "Well, we're telling you it's not suspicious. Everything we just told you is completely fucking off the rails suspicious, but we're gonna say it's not suspicious." I mean, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I mean. It's getting ridiculous because they're not even giving
I
like
mean, did
any
you see Hillary
explanation.
Clinton? She's talking about ending the right alt. She's trying to like, oh, the right alt. Give me a fucking break, right alt. She's trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the right alt? You mean that everybody that doesn't agree with you going around murdering drunk on power, you witch?
Yeah, yeah.
She is a
I mean,
witch, dude. She actually
oh,
literally, she was in a
I
witch's coven. She came,
well,
she would go out, she'd fly out to California, and she was part of a witch's coven. It was in this book, and then also, oh, what's his name? Sometimes he
Well,
goes on Alex Jones.
I don't want to like I don't want to give a bad rap to witches because I'm a witch, right? Like I do magic and things like that. Like that's what I was talking about with the mandala and whatever. But I think that there is something to say about white magic and black magic and what goes between. I'm not saying that Hillary is a white magician by any means. She's obviously a black magician, but I don't want to just from my own personal experience. Like
All
I
right,
do
don't. I
Reiki
mean,
healing
I understand what you're
and
saying, but
energy healing. But no, yeah,
she's she's not a
she
white
is
witch. Okay,
definitely.
she's a
But
black
I think
witch.
she's almost beyond like something rudimentary like covens, right? Like this chick is clear. Like I firmly believe that she is participating in child sacrifices and she's doing all kinds of fucked up shit that's like beyond what we consider within our realm of humanity, right? Like
Oh,
I
did
don't
you?
consider this person like a normal human being. Like I think of her as the same way I think of all these psychopathic fucking globalists. Like these people are not in the logic scape that we're living in, right? So if she's going to like, witches covens, it's probably some like fucking hardcore version of witchery that like we've never even considered, where she's doing like soul retrievals and fucking sucking in people like the souls of children so that she can stay alive, right? Like
Vector. It's Vector. All right. So this in Hollywood, I went to this. This is a couple months ago, and I mean it was trash. And actually, this is a call for an uprising. Did a video on it today, and it's in New York now. This is
okay.
Vector in Hollywood. They had like this little place. This they it was a little different the way that it was set up in Hollywood. This is the new setup they have in New York.
Okay.
On my Instagram, you can go and there's but it doesn't matter. Let me see the one that was in. Okay, so this is the one that's in New York, and this was just a day
Okay.
ago. Okay, and yeah, but it's let me see if I could get you a better picture because that kind of looks pretty if you don't know what's going on. It's like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Totally.
like the cost of entry, your soul. Um, uh, Manson is Jesus Christ. Um, Let me see if I could. I'm looking at these pictures for the first time, so it's kind of taking me
Okay, no worries.
aback.
Yeah, yeah.
But a call, yeah, you gotta watch Call for an Uprising. He's funny. He's like, "Give me a toilet." That guy's funny. That guy's funny.
Yeah, that's why I listen to Thor News. That guy is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I listen to Thor News. I used to listen to a lot more. He does the he's like, "Ugh," he does all the editing and he has like all kinds of
It's kind of
things
like
and yeah.
it's like information for bro dudes.
For
That's why I
what?
like it. For bro dudes.
For bro dudes.
Yeah, just like the way he like kind of talks to you in the videos, the way he narrates them.
Okay. They're putting up it looks pretty when you look at it, but they're not showing the oh, here it is. Cost to entry, your soul, devil, lord. It's totally promoting the one world, one religion. They have all the religions, but
Hmm.
on top of that, they have the mark of the beast.
Butcher
Um,
for art. What the fuck is that shit?
uh,
The Antichrist. That's not good. That's funny because I like rewatched that I Pet Goat thing last night or this morning actually because we were talking about it last night. And this sort of reminds me of it, right? It's like they're sort of using all of these same color spectrums, like these sort of pastel, illuminated blues and purples and
oh, I thought it was like a totally
I
yeah.
just I was
it,
I just know I just think about like light spectrums and color spectrums a lot, and like how they use color to sort of like give you subconscious ideas about certain things. Because I learned about that in like environmental psychology. Like for instance, you never want a refrigerator that looks green because it just makes everything seem unappetizing in there, right? Having a
mhm.
refrigerator that's red will actually like keep you hungry all the time. Um, so just little things like that, like how they use color to sort of also send like subliminal messages. And when I'm looking at this art stuff, it just reminds me of that iPad goat, the
This is
colors
the
they're
guy.
using.
This is the guy that was there in Hollywood. Same guy. It's kind of
The guy with
weird.
the suit and tie on.
No, this you see my mouser? You see my mouse?
Uh,
Though I don't know. It's just
oh, I see it
yeah. It's a guy that he always looks like I don't know. He looks like he's not there. Like see, he's bright eyed, like speed eyes.
now. But
Looks like
who is
he's
he?
high on meth. I don't know. Some dude.
Oh, it just keeps on coming up in your photos
No,
on
no, no.
Google.
I only had that there because I had it on my Instagram, and then so he's always covering the eye. These are the two like people that are like I've seen them, and the Hollywood one, and then now it's in New York. So I guess they're the people that are putting it on the whole, you know, Lucifer
Oh,
thing. But
okay.
these are new pictures. I haven't seen these. I saw the ones from Hollywood, but it's a big thing. It's like a
Interesting.
huge deal. And what's scary is that they're getting people like, oh, Lucifer loves you, like everybody's welcome, like that. But
You should go there if it's in Hollywood and like do an undercover video.
no, 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 it was in Hollywood. Now it's in New York.
Oh, like it's a moving thing. I didn't know. I thought
I
it
didn't
was like
know
a
it was
permanent.
either. I actually just found out about this morning before I went to work. Um,
Oh,
so yeah, so he did it on this, and I was like, oh, it's in New York. So let me see what the name of it actually is. Let me see the chat. Weaponized smallpox, like Monty said. Oh, they're talking about Zika. Yeah, because apparently in Florida they're spraying the hell out of everything. They're just going over with black helicopters.
oh, did you see that thing I posted underneath that thing that you because you posted a video about that I believe. And then I think I posted a link to an article I was reading like just before you put that out. And it was basically I mean the source is kind of interesting. Uh, I'll like put it in the chat. But they were basically showing how they were doing the Zika spray, but only in certain parts of New York City that were like, okay, just Harlem. Oh, really?
Here's the one that was in Hollywood. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, they were just doing
No,
it
no,
in
you're
certain
fine.
parts of Florida too, like Holly Hill, I believe the name of the city was. They were doing it, and they're going over like organic farms and all kinds of stuff, and people's backyards, and they were coming with these like foggers out with black helicopters and fogging people's yards and you know what I'm saying? Like
Totally.
no warning, no nothing. You could have just been outside when they're just doing this, like you're just dumping poison. It's unbelievable.
Well,
I
yeah,
remember when they did that here in Los Angeles in the 80s, and I was a kid, and they were saying it was for the fruit fly, and they were dumping. They were like, "Oh, tonight we're gonna spray," and if you woke up, your car was like all sticky and weird. Yeah, it was gnarly.
fruit flies, huh?
Yeah, it
That's
was
fucking weird.
some sort of
Like a bit
malathion.
much.
Yeah, that's what they were spraying, malathion.
Oof, that doesn't sound very good. That doesn't sound healthy.
Not at all. But now the FDA just came out today, and they were saying that all blood in the U.S. needs to be tested for Zika. So you could start to see how they're creating a narrative, right?
Well, yeah, and they've been working on this for a while, right? Like, and I'm surprised they didn't actually do more with the Olympics thing, right? Well, that was like one of the reasons why a bunch of athletes didn't go because they didn't want to like supposedly die of Zika.
This was in
Their
2014.
partners.
So this before it came to Hollywood. So this thing is touring because this is 2 years now that they've been touring. So just think about how much money this is and all this. This is, if they've been doing this for years. They've been in Florida, they've been in LA, they've been in New York, and it's just like, you know, it's, I mean,
Well, I guess
it's
that's what
kind
I
of
meant.
scary that they're, huh?
That's what I guess that's what I meant about the Olympics thing because it was such a big to do, right? It's the fucking Olympics.
Well, they
Doesn't
got
really.
everybody there, and then they dispersed them to all parts of the globe. They invited everybody to the place of Zika. You know what I'm saying? Like the Zika originated right there in Rio de Janeiro, and they brought everybody there, and now they dispersed them now that the Olympics is over, and
Yeah.
now they're
No,
spraying
absolutely.
people, they're spraying backyards, they're calling for the FDA to collect and sample all blood in the United States. They're going to come out with the shot. Believe me, it's all part of the plan.
No, and but I guess that's what I meant with because like yeah, like the Olympics are over, still waiting for like some like horrible tragedy story.
2023 AD. Oh, the Victorian New Year.
What's that?
Yeah, oh, they you know, it's like, oh, it's Victorian. Oh, this is so cool. I want to play. It. I really like It's a Call for an Uprising. He's funny. He has a good voice, and he just cracks me up. But I mean, he's doing, you know, he's trying to inform people, but people are so like, oh, like, you know, they get you through the artistic thing. They get you through, oh, it's just art. But I'm not saying that it's not interesting. It definitely grabs my attention. But then, you know, you get this whole thing and like Satan loves you and this and that and other. And this guy always has his eyes like just huge. And then they, you know, they do the eye thing, and that I mean, it's so out there. But what's scary is they, and nothing is gonna grab you, and like they're doing the same thing with the Satan after school, right?
Well, tell me more about that. Like, what does it actually entail? Like, what are they doing?
Okay, Satan.
But I mean, like, what schools are doing this, or like, what states? Please don't tell me this is going on in Texas. I'd be fucking surprised.
Okay. Of course, it's the Washington Post. I heard that there's a couple cities. Some are slated to do it. Some are definitely going to do it. It's a whole thing. But let me see. It's a hot summer night, and the leaders of Satanic Temple have gathered in crimson walled living room in Victorian. There's the Victorian again. This Victorian keeps coming up with the Satan thing that we just looked at, and this, it's a whole like, oh, Victorian.
Oh, that's fucking interesting. Okay.
It's in the 17th century. They're watching a sepia-toned video in which children dance around a maypole, a spider's crawl, blah, blah, blah. Come on. They're plotting to bring their wisdom to the National Public Elementary School children. They point out that Christian evangelical groups already have infiltrated the lives of America's children through after-school religious programming in public schools, and they appear determined to give young students a choice, Jesus or Satan. It's critical that children understand that there are multiple perspectives on all issues and that they have a choice in how they think, said Doug Meinzer, the Satanic Temple's co-founder. By the way, this is the same guy that ate a pig's heart and had it all coming down his face and all this. And this is the guy that's in charge of your kids. I just don't understand. And then they say, no, we don't believe in Satan. We believe in rationalism, this, that, and the other. Well, what's the point of saying that? You know what I'm saying? Why do you need to call it an after? Why do you have to make this big thing about Satan? Why don't you just have an after-school program that's not religious, or it's more science-based, or whatever they want to do? But they're shoving it in your face. They're like, oh, no, we don't believe in Satan, but da-da-da-da, and then they'll see him. It's just such crap.
Yeah, it'll drive you
they're
insane.
contradicting themselves. It's like, wait a minute, you believe in rationalism, this, that, and the other, but then you hold up signs at rallies and this saying Satan loves all of his children, this, that, and the other, but you don't believe in Satan. You're saying that Satan is something in the mind. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, if what you're saying is two different things, and that's how what I'm saying is you're more likely to be.
It's the backwards talk, right?
It is the backwards talk, and you're more likely to. Socialism doesn't just come out there and punch you in the face. It goes, oh, you're welcome, diddly dee, bop, 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 and then slowly you get indoctrinated. That's what happens with Satanism. And they want you young. That's why they're targeting these kids, because then we grew up with Satan. You think about, when I was a child, like I went to the Satan club and it was fun, and you know what I mean? So it's resonating with little kids, and you know what I'm saying? And they're getting them. And I can't understand a parent that would send their kid there. Why not just send them to I went to Rainbow River. It wasn't Christian, but it sure as hell wasn't satanic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. Why do you need this? Like, why? And then to see all the stuff the Satanic Temple is doing, it's just, and they say, oh, well, religious freedom and this, that, and the other. And I'm not saying no, but I'm trying to bring awareness that there's no reason to put your kid in this. Why would you want your kid in this and not just like a regular after school program? Really, what is the reasoning behind that?
Well, they think it's trendy and cool, right?
That's all that they go with, though. That's really the Victorian. It's, we're going to do the Illuminati party. We're going to have masks and, this, and she's going to hold a sword to your, and it's like.
You gotta understand, too, that, like, we're not dealing with, like, our parents or our parents or people that are like, we're dealing with people who are our age, right? And like, think about all the fucking trendy motherfuckers who are our age and who would be like, yeah, atheism is totally right up my alley, so I'm gonna just send my kid to Satanism. Like, and not that atheism and Satanism have anything to do with each other, but it's just an easy thing.
Oh, they do. They do.
But that's not how they think about it, right? They think about it more like, like almost how this guy is presenting it. Like, this is just another option, right? We gotta be aware of all options. Like that, like the gender fluidity, right? It's like everybody's gotta be aware and everybody's got to experience everything. Well, not everything is meant to be experienced. Some shit you just need to back the fuck away from.
Just because,
and never have a taste of.
Just because you have the freedom to do whatever you want or whatever, like it's that's where morals come in, because doing what is right as opposed to doing what you can do whatever you want to do. Believe me, it catches up to you. And usually young people don't realize this until they're neck deep or dead or in a bad way. Or you can go through. I know a lot of witches and warlocks and you know, people of
Magical people.
yeah, people of magic, right? And they find their way to to Christianity because they come to find out. Well, and also it's that they want to understand and be powerful. They want to have the most power, and they get a spell will give you this, and the whole thing with the Pokemon. That's kind of an indoctrination. We got the Harry Potter. Oh, we got this spell that. It's an indoctrination, and then this spell will do this, and then if you do this, and then you end up collecting magic books and magic cards and getting into different covens and get different degrees, and it's a whole thing. But and that's the ladder, that's the carrot. You're always oh I'm and I was in Scientology for a very quick minute, but how I got involved is because I was in Hollywood, and I was using drugs, and they had a program called the Ups and Downs course that I got involved with, and they took you and they dried you out pretty much, and then they made you like sweat out the impurities, and they gave you niacin to bind with the impurities. They had people from 9/11 there that were sweating out black stuff.
What?
And so what I'm saying is it was a very good thing. I was like, oh, this is a good thing. I saw people change and stuff like that. But then they start going, oh, they tie in you doing stuff, and like the more that you're like involved, and it's a kind of like the secret, but it's tied in with your money, and they started like tying in like the more you give to their church, and people have like signed over their houses, their deeds, they give like half their money, and not only that, they're working 40 hours a week at this church not getting paid. And you slowly start to see the bad brainwash come in. And when I mean, for me, it was a little bit of curiosity. I wasn't a Scientologist. I just, where I was living in Hollywood on Whitley, the guy that I paid rent to, the manager, he was a Scientologist, and somehow or another, me and my girlfriend went and when, by the way, the place called the Celebrity Center, I was really intrigued because it was a huge place, guarded. I was just intrigued. I was like, what's going on here? All the rooms were different colors. They had like classes. They had this place underneath that you could like, like I said, they worked you out, and they had all these like things where you sweat and you steam rooms and all this other stuff. But I got up from the course one time, and I went walking around, and there's these guys that walk around, and have you ever watched that documentary? It's on Anonymous, and how Anonymous a couple years ago they had a whole thing with the Church of Scientology. Well, the whole thing with Church of Scientology is they just don't want you to say they're all about non-disclosures and stuff like that. And what they do is you go through this thing, right, where you spill out all your information, and they record it all. They have sessions. Literally, you go back and back. And I mean, I didn't do this, so I can't tell you firsthand, what it was like, because I would never, I didn't get that far. But this is what they do. I mean, basically, I was talking with
like mining.
What's that?
They're like mining people's information, right?
And they use it against them. Like, okay, let me just bring this up.
Well, the only thing I can say about that is I saw this interview with did you ever watch Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yeah.
Okay, so the mom.
I mean, I know about it.
The mom, the lady who plays the mom in that show, she was a longtime Scientologist, and then she like left the Scientology church. She was like raised in it from a kid, right? And
Mhm.
I guess made a big to do in the Hollywood world because she was in it for so long. And then she like came out and was like, yeah, these people are no good. They had me like all fucked up in the head, and I'm still fucked up in the head. But like, this is how you get out. This is like why it's all. And then they were, but she was mostly talking too that like sort of like, yeah, like this non-disclosure thing, or like people like you're they encourage people to like rat on each, like,
Oh,
so you never know who's ratting
well,
on
you
you.
have okay. So you have this thing, and it's called the undesirables, right? And so if your parent, say if your parents are like, oh, I don't know, that's a cult, this, that, the other, they start going, oh, well, that's an undesirable, or something like that, to the effect of, I think it's called an undesirable, or no, a toxic. It's kind of like a toxic person. I forget exactly what they were said. I think it's like undesirable or toxic, toxic person. And toxic people do exist, but um, they would use that, and then they would be like, oh, you're, and then they would seclude, they would basically all your branches to your family or a friend didn't agree, they would say, oh, this person is bad, and they would basically leave you to where you didn't have anybody telling you. You know, they would have a way of and believe me, these
They,
people were very nosy. They were
they
very
would
nosy.
they would like
uh,
excommunicate you, sort of.
no, 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 that the opposite, not excommunicate you. They would they I tried, okay, when I stopped going, they showed up. I worked in Santa Monica. They showed up at my work, four of them.
No.
They, yeah.
Yes.
And I lived like a block away from the Celebrity Center, like right here. Like this is um on Frank. Is it on Frank? Yeah, it's on Franklin. Let me see
It's a celebrity center.
no, 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 no. It's on Jesus Christ. Sorry about that.
No, take your time.
This, I mean, this has no. I'm just blanking. I want to say Highland. It's either Franklin or it's This just matters to me. This isn't really relevant. Let me just see this really quick because, come on, guy, let's go. Come on, buddy. Anyway,
That's how I talk to my computer. Like, damn, bitch, do your job.
yeah, it's on Franklin. Yeah, exactly. I was kind of tripping there for a minute. But so yeah, so they'll kind of seclude you, but like I started like shying away, and they would show up, and it was really intimidating, and they were
Yeah, no
just
shit.
like, no, dude,
I mean,
what's
people
that?
show up in my, like, I'm saying, like, yeah, no shit. Like, people show up in my job. I'm fucking freaked out. I'm intimidated. Like,
Well, to me, it was like really like I was like, you drove. I mean, this is in Hollywood. I worked in Santa Monica, and it
that's
was
what
like you guys all drove down here. Let me try to find. Yeah, this is it right here. So this is the one with the street you can see, and this place is like going in. This place is amazing. I mean, it's crazy. I was very intrigued. You know, there's all kinds of rooms in here, and they're all different colors, and it's like a it's just a
well,
crazy
so,
place, man.
so is, like, I don't know if you've ever been inside of a Masonic lodge. That's what that shit looks like. I mean, here in Philadelphia is one of the oldest Masonic lodges in America. And that shit, like, I've been in it a couple of times. Like, I've been on the tours. And that place is like, every time I go, I see something new. And it's this massive space, massive fucking space. Like, they've got like doors the size of your house that enter into these rooms, right? And they're filled with like all this plaster work and gold and like these rich ornate rooms with they've got an Egyptian room and like a Greek room and all these themed rooms, and like they're massive rooms, like the like size, right? And it's like, what the fuck do you need rooms this big for? But and it's like huge building. It's like it's right next to the fucking Capitol building. It's right next to. It's like in the center of Philadelphia.
Yeah. And I mean, the guy that did this, right? That they always talk about, Ron or
Ron
Rod,
Hubbard.
Ron, yeah.
Oh, Ron
I mean,
Hubbard.
they're fully like, oh, they have like a thing upstairs, and they have it like, oh, we haven't touched it since Ron left, and I mean, it's a whole thing. And but that guy was a total.
He's a science fiction writer, and he talked about like, oh, it's better than being a writer, like creating a religion, and that's what the fuck he did.
But I remember when the government was after, he was like on the ship, and he was just like super dodgy, and like that they were after him, and like he was out at sea, and he had like all these.
Dude, he was a fucking straight up pirate. He was going up like because he's got his.
He was a con man pirate. Yeah, this right here. This is it. This is like the ship that he was on.
Yeah, he was just like sailing around the seas, like scamming the fuck out of people, and like
Yeah,
people
he
were
did.
supporting him, and like then yeah, that's like what he was fucking doing, dude.
Oh, I was gonna say. So for the actors, like you can't. Okay, so you can't get like okay, so they have a way of blackmailing you, and this is like it seems like this is a lot of how these operating systems, like these Masonic, CIA, Scientology, there's a lot of things that have it. And what they do is they will get information on you and then hold it over your head. Like I remember, was it John Travolta that was trying to leave, and also Tom Cruise, and they used things, and they also did like really weird shit. Like Tom Cruise was like wanting a girl, right? He's like, and they like did all this weird shit. Like they dyed this chick's hair. They made her into what like Tom Cruise wanted. And they like made her like act a certain way and did all this stuff because they really wanted, yeah, they really wanted they really want famous people because they know that that'll intrigue and that brings more people and that brings more money. And so they really treat these people like royalty. So for one, there's a hierarchy. And let me tell you, when I heard the hierarchy story, that's right there. I was like, okay. I was like, the person telling me, they were kind of embarrassed to even be telling me. They okay. There's like spaceships that are like that are rotating around the Earth. That and they're literally I don't remember all of it, but they literally like, and you have like the different money and all the stuff. Like there's different levels. And there's it's so crazy. Like when I heard it, I was just like, "Are you out of your mind?" Like, and yeah, it was so crazy that I was just like, no, and that oh my god, I can't even remember. It was so ridiculous. Let me
Would have been a fly on the wall for that talk.
it was like really, I was like, oh, like, and they really were shying away from telling me that. Let me see. Science.
Well, yeah, because they know they fucking sound
Because it
like
was bullshit. Yeah, it was total. They don't even. I mean, it's like, do you believe that? And then I was like, how can you believe any of this? Like, it seems like they take what like sticks and works with people, and they only like bring out the heavy duty batshit crazy shit, like when you're neck deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when it's too late.
Scientology, like tenants or like. I don't know. Like, what do I put to like understand what they believe in? Like, what do they believe in?
You'd put in
like, okay, it's about the spaceships.
Put in Scientology, like cosmology or
spaceships around Earth. I want to tell you about this spaceship thing because
yeah, I want to hear about this.
It's the kookiest thing you've ever heard. Watch.
Sounds like some extra shit.
And I was like, I'm not neck deep. Like, you shouldn't have probably brought that out until like
till later. You shouldn't have told me that so soon.
Oh, the Zenu. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
that's
it
right.
gets so weird. It gets so weird that you're just like, dude, this is a science fiction writer's story, but people are believing it like it's real. Like it was just so like I was like, dude, this dude made this shit up. Like seriously, like I like really like there's some stuff that you could like, like why did he have to go like this deep and it's because they hang on every word that L. Ron Hubbard like they talk about, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, L. Ron da da da, like he's like their messiah, but their messiah is nuts, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like why I was saying the shit
But
I
the
was saying before.
but
Well, it wouldn't be a religion if this guy didn't like convince them that he was like the ultimate shit, right?
oh, right here. The story is told to Scientologists. Okay. Here. Just listen to this, dude. Listen to
Yeah.
this.
Come on, hit me. I want to hear this.
Okay, so there's a bridge, right? I don't know how it all works, but so for now, all you Scientologists planning on moving up the bridge, I just want to give you a heads up on what to expect. And for the few people who ever consider getting into Scientology, I want to give you a brief view on their cosmology. The story is the core belief in the religion known as Scientology. It's the people Scientology try to recruit. You know what the story? Hold on. Let's just lower. Okay, if the people in Scientology at the lower levels, see, they have these levels, knew about the story, I don't think they would stay Scientology hamster wheel. It's a road into total something, but not freedom. 75 million. Okay, here it is. 75 million years ago, there was an alien galactic ruler named Xenu, who was in charge of 76 planets in our part of the galaxy, including our own Earth, whose name was Tagiki. All planets Xenu controlled were overpopulated by, on an average, 178 billion people. Social problems dictated that Xenu rid his sector of the galaxy of his overpopulation problem, so he developed a plan. Xenu sent out tax audit demands to all these billions of people. As each one entered the audit centers for income tax inspections, the people were seized, held down, injected with a mixture of alcohol and glycol, and frozen. Then all 1.4 trillion of these frozen people were put into spaceships that looked exactly like DC-8 airplanes, except that the spaceships had rocket engines instead of propellers. Xenu's entire fleet of DC-8-like spaceships then flew to planet Earth, where the frozen people were dumped in and around volcanoes in the Canary Islands and the Hawaiian Islands. When Xenu's Air Force had finished dumping the bodies into the volcanoes, hydrogen bombs were dropped into the volcanoes and frozen space aliens were destroyed. However, Xenu's plan evolved, setting up electronic traps in Tajiki's atmosphere. See, this is what I'm talking about. They had these things that were like orbiting. Xenu's plan involving setting up electronic traps in Tajiki's atmosphere, which are designed to trap their souls or spirits of the dead space aliens. When the 1.4 trillion spirits were being blown around on nuclear winds, the electronic traps worked like a charm and captured all the souls in the electronic sticky paper-like traps. Oh my God. The spirit of the aliens were then taken into a huge multiplex cinemas that Xenu had previously instructed his forces to build on Tajiki. These movie theaters had the spirits and had to spend days watching special 3D movies, the purpose of which was twofold: implant these spirits a false reality. Wait, hold on. Implant into these spirits a false reality, i.e., the reality that wogs known on Earth today, and two, to control these spirits for all eternity so they could never cause trouble for Xenu in the sector of the galaxy. See what I'm saying? If you're hearing this, you're going, wait, it's a total, like, how would you think you would get me with this? During these films, many false pictures were implanted into these spirits, which resulted in the spirits believing in all things that were controlled mankind, including religion. The concept of religion, including God, Christ, Muhammad, Moses, etc., were all implanted in false reality that to this very minute is used to control wogs on Earth.
What? Oh my God.
Hubbard's blah blah blah. Like, yeah. Oh, and there's officers. Yeah, the Xena, the lawyer officers of the Makarab's Confederation finally discovered how evil he was and overthrew him. There's this whole thing with the officers and like different sectors, and you move up, and then you get clear, and you every level you have to get. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
It sounds, and I definitely feel like I've heard that because I remember when I was in college, they were on my campus, right? Like they were pushing hard for to get into that, and like I don't really know anybody who did.
Oh, Marie just said flash floods ravage Missouri. Emergency declared. When about that?
Oh yeah, Maria, tell us more about that.
Is this is recent? Yeah. Let's look this up.
Yeah, let's look it up. I'm still here, just to let you know.
Yeah.
I just switched to my computer. Got off my phone. Done making my food.
Holy hell! Flash floods, rain bombs ravage Missouri. Emergency declared. Unbelievable. Climate chaos.
Where does it say rain bombs?
Oh, it doesn't say rain bombs. I just said that because it
Right
is.
on. I was just wondering if they were using that terminology. But like, damn, they're
No,
just
but they are rain bombs. Good catch. Thanks, Marie.
Hell yeah. And that's interesting because just yesterday too was like those 35 tornadoes that fucking hit like within like hours of each other. They called it a family of fucking which I'd never heard of that before. Families of tornadoes. I was like, oh really now? Now we're just it's not weird, it's just a family of tornadoes.
Wow.
All the time.
Yeah, this is the rain bombs that we were talking about. They drop so much water that the earth can't soak it up, and it floods. They know exactly what they're doing. See, this is weird because I'm like, wait a minute. Is this the effects they knew that would come because of Planet X, or are they using weather warfare? And I keep going towards weather warfare, but also Planet X. It's weird. What are your thoughts? Does anybody have any thoughts on this?
Well, okay, the whole like Planet X thing, I feel a little confused because there's the Lucifer satellite or the Lucifer telescope, right? And actively looking for some other shit, right? And then we've got all these videos of like two suns. They can be debated, sure. I've seen lots of people debate them, but then there's ones I've like, no, that shit's legit. Like I can tell that it's not a light refraction of the camera, right? So I think that there is something going on right now with like maybe some other planetary thing about to approach us, but then I also feel like, you know, if we're gonna get into like if we're gonna stick to the flat earth thing, what does that really mean? Because,
what do you mean?
well, okay, if if we've never left space, right? I don't know where your stance on flat earth is, right? Because lots of people have different models, right? And so some people are in the idea that we're inside of a dome, that we've never left the atmosphere, and that we can't.
Okay. First of all, but I believe that, but you have to understand that the dome is on the other side. The firmament. What I believe in is the firmament. That's after Saturn and after the planets, the firmament. So you have all of what we consider space in the dome. That's what some people don't.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't say that there's not space. I say that space is something else that we're not being told. I don't think that we're under the dome, like literally like a couple miles up we have something. No, I don't think it's like that. But I think I you know what I'm saying? I believe that we're not being told exactly what's going on. Whether it's water, whether there's like after a while it's water. I just don't believe the rocket ship story that they're telling. I don't believe that planets, including Saturn, are as far as they say it is. And Jeranism actually said this one time, and he didn't really get into it, but I researched, but there's not a lot of information, you know what I'm saying, on alternative, thoughts.
Well, Jeranism claims that they've done like some kind of triangulation like math, and they've decided that like the sun is like 3,000 miles away based on that math instead of the 93 million miles away they say the sun is.
Right. Well, I believe that the okay, too many things. Basically, that the planets, the whatever you want to call it, the viscous gas, liquid. I believe it's a fifth element. I don't believe that. I believe it acts. It's kind of like air, but it's like water. It's a mix. It's a fifth element that we. It refracts, like when you look underwater and in a pool, and if you have like something under there, and depending on the angle, it'll get bigger, or it looks like it's somewhere else, or it looks like it's right there, but you know what I'm saying? It plays tricks on you. Like you go down to pick it up, but it's really deep underwater, but it looks like it's right there on the surface. So I believe that's the case. I don't believe that it takes 9 or 13 years or whatever, that these things are going thousands of miles an hour. I don't know exactly how it works, but I believe that they're closer than they tell us. And I don't know that's the thing. I don't know exactly what's going on with space, and it seems that it's coming out. But the thing is it's kind of like talking about the room that you can never get to. It's like, how the hell are we supposed to get information about it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that a lot of this, except for like some things that you can measure on land, as for space, if you've never been there, it's hard for you to comment on it, right? And so that's how they sort of keep a stranglehold on like us even having this conversation in terms of a way that they deem as scientific, because we've never experienced it and they never have any intentions on sharing on like what that is, right? So I think there's something to say about like whether or not there's something going on with how they like present this information, because even with this this other planet coming, like you could also like give the argument that like, oh, like how is that any different than a false flag, right? Like how are they really telling us that? Because they're not telling us, but it's clear that something's going on where, I mean, they have that Lucifer telescope for a reason. I mean, I probably sound like I'm talking in circles right now, but I think something's going on where there might just be a change in our like environment. And when I use the word environment, I mean like, everything that we consider around us, right? Even including space. So it could totally be like, say for instance, we're in this dome thing, right? Like not to the edges of space like you think, but say we're going with the model where like our land is just underneath a dome, and yet maybe there's something coming. But what if that's just like I sometimes think that they're looking for the cracks, like they're looking, like that's what these telescopes are about, that they're looking for ways to get out.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that the dome isn't right up there, but also it might not be. It might be like a kind of where they talk about it being like, oh, this radiation belt, and as you go up in the atmosphere, let's get an atmospheric chart.
Well, there's a name for that that band of radiation that they say that they can, and then they also say that they can't get through. There's a fucking name for it. Let me look it up.
All right, and then really quick, I was gonna say this.
The
Lucifer,
Van Allen belt.
right? The Lucifer telescope. The Lucifer, the return of Lucifer, is the red dragon. The red dragon, Planet X, right, or whatever you want to say, Planet X, Nibiru, whatever. It's the red planet, the destroyer. It comes around, and they named the Lucifer telescope Lucifer. I believe Lucifer, and that's when I talk about the Bibles being layered. I believe that it is a planet, but it is also a mindset. It's also an entity. See what I'm saying? There's all kinds of, it's not just one thing. I believe that there are multiple. So when I talk about the Bible being an onion, it's layered. I believe that it's not just one thing. People say, oh, no, the Bible is just written. It's a story that is hidden about our cosmology, and it's hidden in parables and stuff like that. I believe that that is the case, but it's also layered. It's really inspired. It's a very crazy thing how the Bible is. I don't know. That's my take on it. How it's layered. Let me do this thing because I'm having all my thoughts collide. But as you go up, right? So as you go up, the temperature goes like this. It gets colder, and then it gets hotter, and then it gets colder. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know. But then it goes like skyrockets up like this right here.
Huh.
And as you go into the exosphere, the temperature gets so gnarly. Like, look at right here. You know what I'm saying? The temperature right here gets colder, and then it starts warming up, and then it gets super cold, and then as you start going up, look at how hot it gets. Look at how hot it gets. It gets freaking above, it gets almost 500 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's like 1500.
what bothers me about this whole situation is like not but the temperature, but just the idea of like you need air to make fire work. Or how the fuck do those rockets work in space?
How do they work in space? What are they pushing off? If they tell us exactly what space, they tell us that space is a vacuum. How is the propulsion technology working in a vacuum? You would just spin. It wouldn't work.
I also like the videos of the lander, the LEM lander, because they're using like these air things, like they're pushing out air to land, right? But if you're pushing out air in like a
You're talking about this? You're talking about this that went to the moon. This rickety tin can piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
This thing went to the moon. This rickety piece of shit went to the moon.
Yeah.
This thing looks like a science project. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
But no, like they have all these videos where they're saying like, oh yeah, like this is how it landed. Like it like propulses itself by pushing out all this air, and then that's how it lands safely on the moon. But I'm like, okay, but there's no fucking air in space. So how the fuck, like, what is it pushing air onto? Because that's how it works, right? There has to
this thing. They're telling us that this thing traveled millions of miles. Are you kidding me? There's no way that this traveled round trip 500,000 miles. It's not. Yeah, and then look at right here. Apparently, this was rocket blast lowering it. Well, where's the rocket? You're telling me that this thing didn't like
Yeah, that's
eject
what I mean.
shit, and like
That's
this
what I
thing is
mean.
like this thing is all like nice and look at these. You're telling me there'd be no dust on this, and
It just went through space. It just went all those miles through space, has nothing on it. Just clean and pristine. Like, no
the
problem.
thing with the moon is like I don't believe it for a second. So you know what I mean? Like I'm way over that.
Yeah, I'm like way past that too.
Look, do you
But
see
no,
the
I'm
LEM
just
landing?
talking about
The thing that the camera pans when it's taking off. Well, how did that camera pan? Was there somebody left on the moon? How did you get
no,
that camera to
no,
pan?
absolutely. I mean, all of these things, right? I mean, even just the idea that like all all the photos we have of the Earth are all composite photos, right? So like, what the fuck is that shit up? And like, oh, there's supposedly satellites like just floating around, and the whole Wi-Fi thing. Oh, dude, Jeranism, dude. He put up this really great fucking picture yesterday during this chat that or it was a debate, supposed debate. Oh my god, you gotta hear it. It's like so retarded. These poor Jeranism. I felt so bad for him. This Amy chick was just rallying against him in this way that was just really nonsensical. But he was talking to her about the internet and how all the internet is in these like fucking giant tubes that are like these lines that are just buried like all across the fucking oceans. It's the craziest map. Like, here, let me see if I can find it. Probably have to go to Jeranism.
I'm just gonna listen to that. I haven't listened to it, and I want to listen to it. Might as well just listen to it on here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the picture gets like you can't like listen, you can't see the people like while they're talking. But so he put up a bunch of like images like while it was going on, and he put up
It's
this.
this one, Dread Central, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I listened to it this morning, but on like while he was playing it, you know, because it's just the chat or whatever. But then he like while it's going on, sometimes he'll like put up information in like reference to what he's talking about in the debate that he's having. And here, let me get this right here. Here, I'm gonna screen share for a second. Let me get to the Google Hangout. Desktop screen share. Okie doke. All right, this is it. Can you see it? Can you see me? Oh, there you go. So that yeah, this is the map that he put up, and like you can see all the underground cable lines that are like all over the fucking world for like the internet. Like this is how he's saying
Absolutely.
internet's being done. It's not from like satellite.
It's ground based, and ground based technology is cheaper.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
It's way cheap. I mean, it's also like more obvious and more reliable, right? It's like way more reliable than like sending shit into space and be like, oh yeah, it'll work always. Like, no problem.
So they certainly pushed a certain type of ladder. They told us, well, you couldn't fly around it. How could the sun be both day and night? And so we all thought it was silly and goofy, and we get shown the globe, right from second grade, first grade. So we all assumed it was a globe and assumed scientists the test. But what you're talking about is like an edge that you would fall off. People have gone to Antarctica, and when they go up there, it's just vast snow. And if they went too far, as it does so frequently.
Well, shit the bed.
Yes. Well, Jaren was actually posing a question to us around Earth. Jaren, can you reiterate that, please, so Amy can get it too? Yeah, I was just making sure that, one thing that I never did was actually stop and think about, as a globe believer, which I was my entire life. I went through school like everybody, and never stopped and thought about what it actually all required of me, which requires that you have these you have to settle with the belief that you're spinning 1,000 miles per hour, that you're going around the sun 66,000 miles per hour, that the entire solar system is going around the galaxy at 500,000 miles per hour. The galaxy is going around the Great Attractor at 2.2 million miles per hour. So we're actually traveling.
It's exciting stuff. We are traveling quite fast.
Yes, and in many different directions. And we don't feel anything, by the way. We don't feel a thing. And also that the Great Attractor itself is 100 quadrillion times the size of our sun. So despite them telling us what science entails, which is it has to be testable, falsifiable, has to be repeatable, that's a scientific fact.
I do have a question, though. Have you ever flown in an airplane?
That was my question. That was my exact fucking question. Go ahead.
So you have flown in an airplane before?
An airplane flies straight. It sure does.
Okay.
It gets to cruising altitude. The pilot gets autopilot, which is cruise control for the plane, and then the plane flies straight. It never compensates for curvature.
Listen, let's take this back a little bit. I just wanted to know if either of you had flown on an airplane before and were aware, that you were going probably, in some cases, 1,100 miles an hour.
No, 500.
Well, actually, when you take off on the ground, most planes you get up to about I'd say maybe 100 miles per hour in this example we'll use.
What the hell is she talking about?
Dude, she is just a giant self-righteous bitch. Like, she talks science circles around people. It's not even worth listening to.
Like you're going 1,100 miles
I felt
per
so
hour,
bad for journalism during this
32,000
thing.
feet. Not necessarily.
When does the plane go that fast?
When does the plane go that fast?
I don't even care if the plane goes at fucking 300 miles per hour. Do you feel when you're in an airplane like you're going 300 miles per hour?
I just want to say that this chick is already on my nerves, but whatever.
Yeah, no, she
You
is
feel
intense.
like you're traveling that fast when you're.
Like, what is she talking about?
The plane is enclosed, right? So just like would you feel it if the window was down? Yeah, I'm assuming you would. Now, are we in an enclosed sphere? Is there a barrier? There's a shell on
There's
the
an atmosphere.
We have the Earth's atmosphere, if that's what you are referring to. We have gravity.
If you want to hear something of this interview that's really fucked up, go towards the end when he starts talking about Sandy Hook.
Right? So if we don't feel the wind,
No,
on
like
the
the
Earth,
very end, like the last 5 minutes.
therefore we must be in a.
Well, I kind of wanted to listen to a little bit of the debate.
Oh, for sure. But it's a great example of like how this whole thing breaks down, because
which is based on
almost the entire interview is them talking over him. They don't really let him talk.
Trying to say, based on your relative position, the end of this pipe that does not have any sort of instrument to measure the minute movements of Polaris, it moves. You won't be able to see it move dramatically, but it does move.
Okay, so everybody do this too. Go look at any software. You can go to any planetarium software online, even Celestium, those kind of things, and start moving the years forward and watch Polaris. Move it 5,000 years from now and tell me if Polaris moved an inch.
Yes, but that's all relative to the pixels on your screen. What I'm asking you to do, if you're really that curious, is to go to an observatory. They're open. There are lots of observatories open to the public where you can go and you can get some public viewing time on these things. Ask questions, okay?
The planetarium uses a planisphere, which is based on a flat Earth. That's how planispheres work.
So you think they're using these little slides, like the viewfinder goggles? Is that what you're saying?
Hang on, we have another call. Let's get him on. Welcome to Brainwaves. You're on the air. Please extinguish your device.
Extinguish your device.
Are you there?
Yes.
Who is this?
This is Jay.
Jay from where?
Colorado.
Hi, Jay from Colorado. What's on your mind?
Oh boy.
Well, I just had a question about the shape of the Earth.
Don't we all, brother? What's up?
Because all the photographs that I see on the internet and in books are perfect spheres.
It's
They're
not a
perfectly
perfect sphere,
round.
Zach.
Do you agree?
It is not an actual perfect sphere. There is a little bit of wobble.
Well, the photographs display it as a perfect sphere. So their photographs are.
No, that's relative to the
when
way
the
in which that
yeah,
you see it in
exactly.
print and online media.
Yeah, it depends on what you're saying.
Wait,
We're talking
what?
about
Wait.
something that's not
Yeah.
visible with-
Wait, I don't like. She is annoying me.
Dude, she is. That's what I mean. Like listening to this entire 3
She
hour
is so
thing,
self-righteous.
That's okay.
Like she doesn't have a clue what she's talking about. She's so self-righteous. I have
Dude,
science on my
dude,
side.
okay,
Do you
dude.
know? And she like started out with the debate like, "Have you heard of a plane?" Like she does. She's actually speaking. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Okay. I have to say that the minute I finished listening to this entire debate, the first thing I did, I went onto Jeranism's page and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry you had to listen to this self-righteous bitch. Like, that was the first thing I did. Second, I couldn't even believe because, throughout this fucking interview too, she's like basically saying that the burden of proof is on them, that they don't have to prove anything, that science has already proved everything for them, right? So Jeranism's like giving them example and they don't even want to hear it, man. And that you should skip a little bit forward when they start talking about Sandy Hook, because that's when it's so clear what they actually think of this dude. Like, this isn't a debate, right? This is like them trying to demean him.
All right, this is the last 10 minutes of it. So
okay.
So the people.
You're absolutely right. So
so hold on. See, I went too far. And this is a Hillary Clinton talking point. So they're just
family, you've insulted people I know who would law.
Okay.
Fact that this whole thing is because you believe there are these people out there that just don't want to tell you the earth is flat because they're dicks. And that's just not an acceptable fucking thing to me.
Great. I'm glad that it's not acceptable to you, because let me explain to you the difference between me and you. Let me speak this out. That you don't understand that what you just described about me being biased and only going to people that have an agenda is the exact same thing as being a science fan. And how you don't see that they think of peer review. Okay, that's people who already are set in their beliefs. They went through.
No, it's not.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I let you just go on and carry on yourself and talk
Well,
about.
I've let you go on and on and on, talking about things that aren't even true at all. You've insulted me. You've insulted my family. You've insulted people I know who have lost family members. You've insulted, you've insulted my friends.
Oh, God.
Well, I guess you have to go back because he didn't even talk about Sandy. I guess he passed that Sandy.
See, I knew I was in the right spot.
Sorry.
After those events happened, I was over in the United Kingdom, and
This girl is so
the
annoying.
nature of dark matter in the universe. You can look that up. It's on biz.org, phys.org.
And here's something for you. One of our listeners, Mike B, he just tweets in, I knew someone that lost a family member in the Oklahoma City bombing. It's a total insult to say it didn't happen. And he responded,
I never said it didn't happen. I said it didn't go down the way you were taught. That's
how
what I
did
said.
you know it went down any other different way?
Because you need to do the research. You cannot just do what the government tells you.
I can walk around the area. I can walk around the bomb sites.
So that tells you who ordered who to kill and all that stuff. You know, that's how you know these things. You know that.
But you don't believe that all those people died? That was the assertion that you made with Sandy Hook, that you don't believe that these people had died in this mass tragedy. Nobody died in Sandy Hook. Okay.
No.
Okay.
And if you did the research, if you actually looked into it, you would see that it's obvious. I mean, do you believe in the Boston bombing, the marathon bombing? I mean, you're talking about
I watched the Boston bombing.
This is not something that you want to believe in. I would like not to believe that these things are true. But you know what? I have to accept it.
Oh, my God.
I have to accept it because that is the reality and the nature of man.
That's how society works. You have to accept it considered a conspiracy.
Jaren.
You know what I did? You know, after those events happened, I was over in the United Kingdom, and I sat glued to one of the apps that you use to listen in on radio chatter. You know, I'm sure you're aware of those. You know, like police scanners and scanner radio and things. I sat for hours on end listening to these things. And do I believe that it happened? Absolutely, I believe that it happened. I don't think that that was all orchestrated.
We have an incoming phone call. Maybe it's somebody from NASA.
I can't wait.
Welcome to Brainwaves. You're in the air. You're in the air. You're just fucking here with the rest of us. Who's this?
This is Dave. I'd like to ask Amy a question.
Sure. Amy,
Yes.
go ahead.
So, on the show?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Mm-hmm.
We hear you.
Okay. Amy, Jared was trying to make a point about Polaris, and I've done an experiment myself where I hooked up a pipe on the side of my house, and I lined it up with Polaris. And each night I look through it, and I see Polaris there. 6 months later, when I look through it, I still see Polaris, and we're 180 million miles on the other, across on the other side of the sun. How is that possible?
Well, the way in which you were observing, you know, you don't have a massive telescope in your backyard. You don't have a massive radio telescope to see the minute movement of Polaris, but I can assure you that it does
move.
move.
Andy, that's not what I'm saying. I lined it up through a pipe, so it's all I can see, a narrow quarter-inch pipe that's about 4 feet long. And when I look through it, I can see Polaris. Now, the Earth is spinning around the sun 6 months later. Million miles, so it's 186 million miles away from where it was 6 months later. That's only
This is Dave.
One of the motions of the Earth.
Right, I was going to say.
And it's still lined up with Polaris.
I'm trying to say, based on your relative position, the end of this pipe that does not have any sort of instrument to measure the minute movements of Polaris, it moves. You won't be able to see it move dramatically, but it does move.
Okay, so everybody at home, do this too. Go look at any software. You can go to any planetarium software online, even Celestium, those kind of things, and start moving the years forward and watch Polaris. Move it 5,000 years from now and tell me if Polaris moved an inch.
Yes, but that's all relative to the pixels on your screen. What I'm asking you to do, if you're really that curious, is to go to an observatory. They're open. There are lots of observatories open to the public where you can go and you can get some public viewing.
Yeah, I know, Marie. Always a friend of a friend.
Okay?
It uses a planisphere, which is based on a flat Earth.
And they use your emotions against you. This girl's totally indoctrinated.
Slides, you know, like the viewfinder goggles. Is that what you're saying?
Hang on, we have another.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking super real.
Welcome to Brainwaves. You're on the air. Please extinguish your device.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I don't know. Is she just indoctrinated?
Are you there?
Yeah, dude, she totally is. I mean, that's what Jeranism talks about in their fucking thing. Because she keeps on saying that the burden of proof is on him and not her. That science has already figured everything out for her. So all Jeranism has to do is go to a planetarium or a museum, right? Like, and then all of his answers will be answered. Like all his questions will be answered.
It's not a perfect sphere, Zach. It is not an actual perfect sphere.
She's also in this mindset that like the government will never lie to you.
The photographs display it as a perfect sphere. So their photographs are...
No, that's relative to the
when
way
the
in which you see it in print and online media.
Yeah, it depends on what you're saying is...
Yeah, wrong. They told us that the 1974 pic was just a pic. It wasn't a Photoshop resolution band. It was actually taken one shot. So everything...
Until 2015, just so everybody at home knows that. That's how long it took them to take the second picture of Earth.
No, that's not true because we see the Earth all the time on the ISS feed.
Hey guys,
see the whole Earth.
Hang on, please let the caller talk.
You got to be open-minded, and she's not. And I understand because I thought this was nuts too. But now Neil deGrasse Tyson, whatever that guy's name is, what's his name?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's talking about a pear-shaped Earth now. Why don't they show it as a pear-shaped Earth? Is it pear-shaped or is it round? I'm confused.
No, it's not like an actual, like a literal pear-shaped Earth. What he's trying to say is that it is not a perfectly round sphere.
And the photographs show it perfectly round.
I'm trying to tell you that based on your perception, it's an illusion in the photograph.
What the hell is she talking about?
I'm a graphic designer.
Based on illusion, she's full of shit.
If you're a graphic designer, then you know about DPI and pixels per inch, and that
Oh
a single
boy.
pixel per inch based
Why can't
on.
You've never seen a real picture of the Earth. Why not?
You have.
They're composites.
You know what? I really like, for everybody who thinks we live on a flat Earth. You know, I'm sure at some point there's going to be probably a Virgin Galactic flight, or probably commercial space flight that will allow you to see. Well, they're going to be coming in the next couple of years.
Yeah, they're coming. They've been saying that.
This is going to be a reality. I hope you're able to see that we live on a round Earth. And even then, I'm sure that there will be some sort of an excuse saying that, oh, that's just a projection of a window, and because we can't open the windows in space.
They showed us they were in a window. What are you talking about?
You're faking it all, you know. So there's not, if you have your mind set.
No, we didn't have our mind set.
We're the ones. Oh my God.
Somebody's saying that they have been a globe believer for 35 years. And then they looked into it and changed their mind. The other person is steadfast in their belief.
She's saying that we don't have the
So when she does things like
we're taking in all the information. What it's saying is you guys are full of shit.
Minded to science. Because you dismiss it as a conspiracy.
You're such. See, it's Hillary Clinton talking points. It's such bullshit.
It's gonna be okay, man. It's gonna be okay.
Confirmation bias.
Jared,
Confirmation bias.
Jared
is not true.
Hang on, Jared. It really sounds like that you're looking for these things. People.
Okay, let me tell you why that's important.
No, I am 100% into research and judging for yourself. That's what life is all about. But it seems to me that you have a bit of an agenda. And then you get
wow.
Yeah. Just listen to it, dude. Listen to it. Listen to it.
And then this agenda ends up being this massive thing. And at the end of the day, hang on, at the end of the day, it all stems from the fact that this whole thing is because you believe there are these people out there that just don't want to tell you the Earth is flat because they're dicks, and that's just not an acceptable fucking thing to me.
Great, I'm glad that it's not acceptable to you, because let me explain to you the difference between me and you, and let me speak this out. That you don't understand that what you just described about me being biased and having only going to people that have an agenda is the exact same thing as being a science fan. And how you don't see that they think of peer review. Okay, that's people who already are set in their beliefs. They went through.
No, it's not.
Can you please?
It's not at all.
Let him finish.
Let him so many times tonight. Amy, I let you just go on and carry on yourself and talk.
Well,
about
I've let you go on and talking about things that aren't even true at all. And you've insulted me. You've insulted my family.
Oh, whatever.
I know who have lost family members.
Oh my God.
You've insulted my friends. You
By
told me that my friends are lying to me, categorically lying to me, because they're in on some sort of giant conspiracy.
You have friends
I have friends who have family who did.
Jaron, with all due respect,
I'm going to follow you up on that, just so you know. You're going to have to.
Jaron,
what you said.
No. She doesn't. Wait.
You just
Hold on.
You, sir.
Jaron.
You're so lost.
Hang on, Jaron. First of all,
I didn't insult anybody.
No, Jaron. You know what?
Yeah,
To be very, Amy, can I get this 1 second?
Yes,
please?
yes.
I do believe that you discounting lives that have been lost is insulting to the families of the people.
You're absolutely right. So if I said that nobody died at Sandy Hook, then if somebody proves to me,
but you see, that's the thing with human tragedy.
What?
It happens, and it's accepted, and until
Great, and that's don't you understand?
you've been touched by it. Hold on. Until
people that are deceiving you will tell you stories.
You know what?
So
No, there is no
say things like you're saying. Here's what you don't understand.
Stories.
Is that
here's what you don't understand.
Great,
There
I know you
are
think I don't
no
understand, but let me get my point out.
stories.
Because
There
you
are
asked me,
facts, bro.
You said that I'm trying to prove some sort of bias or I have an agenda, right? Let me tell you the difference between what Amy's doing and what I'm doing. Okay, Amy is speaking up for science. She's saying that it's true, that it's fact, that people who are into this peer review are all on the up and up. They don't have any agenda. That's what she's saying, okay? If she was wrong, if she's wrong about what she's saying, she is hurting all of the world. She's hurting all of humanity.
Okay. And what about if you were wrong?
Dude,
what about if
let
you
me
were
finish a
wrong?
statement.
Aren't you doing the same thing? Aren't you doing the same thing if you were wrong?
Absolutely. Let me finish my
They're
statement.
talking
the
over
reason
him.
It's different between what she's doing and what I'm
The
doing.
entire
is
interview is like
science
that.
is trying to disprove the current theory. Hold on. Do not talk until I'm done. Science is trying to disprove whatever the current belief is. But what we've ran into is a society who just backs up science. You can't question NASA. You can't question the moon landing because those things are our dogmatic beliefs, and you better believe them or you're going to be considered a conspiracy theorist and a retard. I'm trying to tell you.
I take great offense to that, to the retard statement.
Great, good.
Great, wonderful. Oh.
Is,
Take offense to me saying that flat earthers are retards?
Well, I take offense to the word retard.
So do I actually. So that's good. I actually.
Well, you used it. You invoked it as if to.
Oh, get off it, lady.
I'm not.
So you're absolutely
The soul of science is to prove your axiom wrong. The soul of science, the idea, the scientific method, is not going in with an idea that you want to prove right. Is to prove it wrong.
Okay,
and
so
to
what I'm
thoroughly
saying
prove it wrong.
You're listening me out. If I'm wrong, okay, and I started out with YouTube with 0 followers. I went and made it. My first video had 0 followers, no views. Now I'm up to 50,000 followers. By explaining things out for people and asking them to go do their own research. Okay, and if you guys think this is going away, go ahead and look online. I mean, there's more.
I don't give a shit if it stays.
Safety
permanently.
numbers, is that
Because
it?
what you don't get is that people are doing the research and realizing the truth, and that's what I want everybody at home to do. I'm not expecting to convince any of you
And
guys.
again, the basis is because you think that the government or whoever are just dicks and they don't want to tell us as if somebody has something to gain here. Hang on, we have
Oh my
article.
God.
Nobody has anything to gain. You're right.
No,
Oh,
nothing
wow.
about the shape of the earth. What? Oh shit! Wow, I just hit fucking lotto. Hang on, I got another call.
Oh my God.
And I missed them because I was babbling. Listen, guys, it's 12:05. We've been doing the show for over 3 hours now. I'm gonna wrap it up if it's okay with you with some closing thoughts. To the people listening, you've heard a lot of arguments, you've heard a lot of yelling, you've heard a lot of theories, a lot of conjecture, a lot of everything. And ultimately, it's up to you to decide what you believe. And hopefully, if this show tonight, through all the fucking ups and downs it's taken, has given you some pause for thought, then great. That's what it's all about, man. But I will say that nobody has any right to insult anyone, and nobody has any right to force their beliefs on anyone.
I agree.
Okay?
Can I have 1 minute and then I'll be done?
You can have 1 minute.
Thank you. I agree 100% with what he said. And if anybody thinks I offended anybody, what I said was Sandy Hook did have nobody died. Okay, and if you think I offended that person, then bring them forward so that.
But they don't have anything to
contact me,
prove
Jaren,
to
is
you.
Why
you.
would I want to subject a
Go to my
family
YouTube
member
channel,
who's
it's Jaren.
already been through tragedy
Really?
to someone
I mean-
who disbelieves that their tragedy existed?
Yeah, I mean,
That
really,
is
dude.
cruel and that is
What?
unusual.
That is like the most callous thing you could possibly do. I mean,
Okay,
really.
great. Let me just
Hey,
leave it at
look,
this, guys.
this person
Everybody
undervalues
at home
your
should
tragedy.
realize
Very
that we are set up.
self-centric.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to explain something. I just want people at home to realize that when things are set up in a way that sets you up for deception, when the government says something happened at Sandy Hook, and then you've got people like Amy and this guy over here telling me that by questioning it, that I'm this evil person, then realize that we've set ourselves up for deception. Meaning they can say anything. They can make up events, and none of us would ever question it because, oh, shoot, I'm going to be considered a conspiracy theorist, and they're going to think that I'm being rude and that I'm insulting Amy's family. I'm not insulting anybody personally. I am saying that when you do the research, nobody died at Sandy Hook. Now, go to the website, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, look at the 3 events, 9/11, look at Sandy Hook. These things, if you research them, you will find
Jaren.
period.
Jaren.
Can I
Jaren? No, you can't finish because I'm gonna finish, okay? First of all, I was there during 9/11. I lost my best friend in that building. I watched what happened, okay? So I don't want to hear jack shit about any 9/11 theories. Okay, and I can tell
my
you
God.
firsthand,
Seriously, yeah,
because I
dude.
watched a
Oh
lot
my
of people
God.
die. Okay, I watched people jump out of the fucking buildings. and
So did I.
To their death without fucking a parachute.
It has
or
nothing to do with it. Being
Nothing to do with it.
Yeah, there's nothing to do with it.
Right there, I am from New York. All right, I've lost my
friend who was
best
in New York who has a
friend.
different story. So
Well, your friend is a jackass, okay? Because I was right there, okay? I watched.
He was right there, so everything the government says is correct.
No, I'm pissed. I'm pissed at any motherfucker who had anything to do with that. So just let me tell you.
So you should be pissed at the government.
Exactly.
That one day, you never have to deal with the type of tragedy of a fucking 9/11 or a fucking Sandy Hook. Because I can guarantee you this, Jack, it'll change your perspective, but motherfucking good and but motherfucking quick.
This guy is annoying.
In that, I am ending this debate. Jaren, thank you. I appreciate your time. Seriously, pull your head out of your ass, dude.
Can't listen to that guy anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty much the end of it.
That hurts to. I just can't understand how. I mean,
That's what I
see-
meant, like, man. That's what I meant in terms of, like, it's hard to listen to. Like, it's intense.
I can't see how he doesn't see what. And that's what
They're
people are
deep
saying, that they're.
inside, man.
Well, they're either paid or I don't understand how you could have such a.
I
They're
don't
saying.
even think that, but what I'm saying by they're deep inside is, like, they're so inside the general paradigm that
The
like,
Matrix, yeah,
I-
that was set up.
that I was, like, you know, like, fucking probably like 12 years ago, right? Like, I would totally agree with them 12 years ago. And that's what Jeranism says at the beginning of this interview, is like 2 years ago, I would totally agree with you guys. No problem. Wouldn't even be here. There's no reason I would be here. But then I did my fucking research, and this is where I'm at now. But they don't want to hear that.
Yeah, and the guy is talking about, oh, I watched it, therefore everything that the government says is correct. I don't understand his logic. And we're seeing things, and we're doing the research, and we're seeing big, huge, gaping flaws, and how they're just they're using. See, this is how they manipulate you with emotions.
Yes.
Don't you dare question it. I had a friend of a friend who died. You're insulting me. This far left, and this was brought up by Hillary Clinton, and it's like, how dare you? How dare you say anything?
And this is the real disgusting part when she starts talking about Sandy Hook, right? It's like,
right.
Oh yeah. Now it's, you know, it's disgusting. The fact that you had those kids on that fucking Super Bowl field, like, right after you supposedly they're all dead, right?
And that is a tool of mind control. That is one of the tools they use. Is it's so outlandish, it's so over the top that they do it, and there's people that they can't wrap their head around how it's being done to them. They can't see what is being. They're like, oh no, these kids died, and for you to say anything but. You're not allowed to say that. No, you insulted me. It's just really annoying to see that thing that they're stuck in, that paradigm that they can't get out of. It's unbelievable.
Which is funny because technically that radio, like those people who like run their radio station or whatever, especially the brainwave thing, they're a paranormal radio station, right? So it's like, okay, you can believe in like the paranormal and like UFOs and like the government's keeping aliens from us, but you can't understand that like this is possible. Like, I don't understand. That's what I don't get with people who are like putting him down in this like alternative field where they're like, yeah, we believe in aliens and we believe that like, you know, the government's like, you know, got all kinds of space things going on the back of the moon that we don't know about, and we're mining on Mars, but no, 9/11's totally legit. Like, come on, dude. That requires more fucking Like, it requires more of the government to be putting, like, you know, things on the back of the moon than they do to, like, blow up 2 buildings, right? Like, it's like the things that they believe in are, like, far more complicated.
And how can this guy say that? Okay, I was there. I understand that methodology. Like you're going, oh no, I saw it, as if we're saying that it didn't happen.
Yeah. No. But they're also saying that, like,
but they're mixing things. They're mixing Sandy Hook. They're saying, oh, since you said Sandy Hook didn't happen, therefore I could transfer that to 9/11. And how dare you say 9/11 didn't happen? It's like he didn't say that. He's not. We're not saying that. See how they're taking one thing and they're moving it to the other thing?
That guy was they're making the illusion that nobody died. Like that, like, okay, so nobody died at Sandy Hook, right? But people clearly died at 9/11, right? And Jeranism is trying to say that, like, these were orchestrated attacks. They're taking it as, oh, nobody died at any of these fucking situations, right? Like, there was
they're mixing them.
Yeah,
they
no,
do their research, and obviously, to sit there and play armchair quarterback over the radio and expect to know what researchers know that have done the work, and then you sit there and you have your feelings as a barrier, as a shield, as a, oh no, how dare you? And it's just
well,
ridiculous.
That's part of the construct, right? That's part of the construct, because that's like why they had Sandy Hook, right? Like, who's gonna say that these children didn't die, right? That's why it's so.
And then for them to say, oh, you can, it's not up to the children, or it's not up to them to prove it or whatever, and they're like, how dare you? We wouldn't put them through that. And it's like, hello, like, people would not be saying this if the research wasn't done. He's like, I saw the Boston bombing, or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're not saying it didn't happen, but it was a smoke bomb. And then all of a sudden, there's people that were already had legs that were off, and then now they're in wheelchairs miraculously with, like, limbs blown off. And you could tell that is, you could tell by the white smoke, it's not a powerful explosion. It's a dummy explosion. It's meant to look. It's exactly what you would use on, like, a film set. It's a smoke bomb explosion.
You know, you should show next is Jeranism's video in San Bernardino. I was watching that today as well, and he has a really great. I don't know if you ever seen that video.
Yeah, I have, with the vans. Yeah,
it's really vans with the yeah. And I was like, dude, this is like the best evidence, right? Like, how are they following this? And then they've got like 3 other fucking black trucks going on, like. Yeah, and the fake dead bot. It's just, right. But this is how they. It's so. What's the word? It's so lazy in the way that they do it, right? So it's not hard to break these things down, right? But like you said, they're using the emotional aspect as a shield for why you can't. I mean, even with Sandy Hook, like, what did they do? They had the fucking chief come out and be like, any information.
And this is all, by the way, this was all done by design. They know exactly. They're using this. Hold on. They're using this, and they knew. This is a way to pit people and have things, but it's so crazy. This is why they do the things that they do when people that are looking at reality, and we see that it's completely a setup, like it's completely set up, right? And we're going, oh no, the Nice people, there's the people on the ground, it looks totally set up, the blood's fake, everything's fake, and the people are breathing, it looks like they're doing a take on a movie set. It's complete bullshit. Yet the people that don't do the research, they're only going off of what they were told, and they use their emotions as a talking point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's also like what navigates them through the information. Like, because if you're traumatizing yourself with this idea that, oh, people died, then it's hard for you to even, like, be skeptical, right?
Right.
And that's like the point of, like, them, like, filming bodies and stuff. It's like to literally traumatize you. Like that fucking Mr. Pickles thing, right? Like, Can't be telling me that they didn't make that TV show to traumatize minds. That shit's traumatizing. We didn't even watch the show. We just saw pictures and I feel fucked up about it.
Right.
Look into the shooters. They were wearing tactical gear. They were wearing bulletproof vests. Interesting. Let's look at some of these pictures. Okay, first, this took place in
The video is sort of in the middle.
It took place on San Bernardino Avenue, or East San Bernardino Avenue. Looking maybe 5 or 6. There goes the SUV. I counted how many cars are out.
Yeah, this is it right here.
So I'll let you watch it without me talking in a second. But here comes the black SUV.
Okay.
Show you the setup. So ridiculously foolish. These guys cannot do anything right.
They can't do anything right.
So ridiculous when they see how badly they've screwed this one.
He was right there. Here comes the video. Take a look. It's the first time it's been seen anywhere.
I'm going to kind of talk you through this, and I'll let you watch it without me talking in a second. But here comes the black SUV with its hazard lights on, cruising nice and slowly down the street. Now they hear the first shots.
Reminds me of Nice.
Yeah.
Cars are after the SUV, and it's basically 13, of course. There goes a cop car there, after the SUV, so let's say it's 2, 3, 4, 5. We can make 5 or 6. This guy's hiding. Back up. 7, 8. There's the truck. Look at the gray truck. White car. Everybody's just cruising as a van. This guy gets out of his car. And in a second, you're going to start to hear all the crazy shootings.
Oh my God!
There goes a white truck.
They're killing that guy.
And now you hear all the shots. Let's hide. Let's hide. Oh my goodness. Shots fired. Shots fired. Because the people yell when they're video recording. Okay, there goes another 2 or 3 cars. End of video. Now, this guy was talking at the exact same place where the mass shooting happened 4 hours earlier.
Oh yeah, that's interesting too. It's like, why is this guy driving by the same place he just shot up a bunch of people 4 hours earlier?
Right where they just murdered 14 people. Because you always go back by the crime scene, because I guess that's what Muslims do. So
that's what Muslims do.
Muslims are so dumb, they just go back to where it's ridiculous. This is the setup. Why? They're going to take us now, and you're going to get to see that exact road where that film was just taken. And I'm going to show you why it cannot possibly be. I'll even show you where the setup car is, and show you exactly how they did it. So these cars are going to go racing through here. And this car is going to turn back onto East San Bernardino. I can't say that. Okay, so this view right here is exactly what you're seeing. The scene from where that car was driving by. Now, this little intersection here that's going to zoom in, that is your black SUV. See it? Right there in the middle. Black SUV and all the 13 cars behind it. Now, pan ahead through all these cars. And then, nope, this is your black SUV. Oh, sorry, not that one. That's where the cops are all lighted. And this is the black SUV. Is that the black SUV?
So how did they get through all those cars?
Exactly, dude.
Bloody person down there at the bottom of the screen with a gun. It's all set up. It's been placed there. It's all been placed there. It's been ahead of time. They set up the SUV, shot out all the windows, put a body on the ground with blood next to it. And it's not even a body. I'll show you that. It's ridiculous. Let's listen to the guy who made that videotape.
We've spoken a couple of times, and your account is amazing. You guys were shutting down. I'll give you a quick synopsis for those who don't know. You were shutting down for the day. You talked to your boss. He wanted the employees to go home, be safe, hunker down, get out of here, because no one knew what the heck was going on.
This guy looks like a cop.
These gunmen were,
Yeah, he does.
And then all of a sudden, you saw what?
All of a sudden, we just saw that SUV, normal traffic stop by the police. Maybe they didn't stop where they were supposed to, and all of a sudden, we just heard the gunshots, and the window just shattered. We took the cover, and then and they passed by us. That's when I was already recording at that time. I was ready to record something. And then from there, on the second stop, maybe 50 to 80 yards from us, that's when the second shooting occurred. Covered again, took cover. And then the last of the shots, it was pretty scary.
I mean, you guys were outside. You need to realize they were already outside the fence anyway, because you thought it was just a traffic stop. We happened to have a couple extra officers, of course.
This guy looks like a plant.
But then when you heard the gunfire,
Both of them are. They're probably having beers like after they take this video.
Then when I saw the parade of all the police officers coming in, all the units, FBI, ATF, all chasing them, they're like, oh, this is them. And when I saw their part of their faces, and I just couldn't believe that was them, and it's happening here in front of us. It's surreal, very surreal. Yes, exactly. It happens everywhere now. It's happening here.
I know one of your bosses said he, heard those AK-47s. I know all obviously all sorts of speculation. Obviously, they had powerful weapons. They were flying in hand, as we heard from the press conference. Now knowing that, I mean, troubling.
Yeah, it is. I mean, having that right in front of us, in front of some of the employees were that I was talking to outside of the getting escorted them outside. They were just take cover with this duck. There were scary noises.
If you're
Scary noises.
I want to ask you too, real quickly.
Yeah.
We should just take the guns. We should just take the guns now.
I mean, pretty amazing.
It sure was. Like, wow, I actually recorded that, and it's happening, and listening to the gunshots, especially the gunshots, listening to those, it's really ugly.
Dave, we appreciate your time. Thankfully, you're safe. And as you can tell, Megan, a lot of people in this town a bit shaken. I spoke with a woman earlier who was hunkered down in a closet with her dog. She's now, I've been told, the update viewers, I had some viewers actually emailed me.
Of course, they're a bit shaken. You're faking mass shootings and faking black SUVs and people getting shot and shooting back at the cops. It's not happening. Do you understand that? And of all people, it's got to be on Megyn Kelly's show, just because I think she's hot, but regardless, she better know how to cut her hair. Trying to turn her into the next Miley Cyrus, probably. Can these guys not see the hoax right in front of them?
She's a psyop agent.
Video didn't notice
Yeah,
that
she
black
is.
SUV just stop down the street. You don't start walking down that way or anything.
Trained.
It's a joke. We're watching the video again. Here comes the black SUV, flashing its hazard lights. Then you see the shots start ringing out. Oh no, this car's taking off. Again, you can see the exact order of the cars that go after. It goes black SUV, then the cop car, then the black SUV cop. Then you got the maroon car, then there was like a beige truck. You got the beige truck, the white car, beige truck. All just cruising. Then you got the van.
Get out of here.
And that is nothing's going on there.
Oh my God.
They're all just driving, and then they park at the end of the
Sounds like the guy too is pretending.
Is going on.
Get out of here. Yeah, it's such a setup.
Can't believe.
Yeah, and they just happen to be there right when they fucking.
But you can listen to them and it doesn't sound legit.
They're still idiots because they've completely disproven their own theory. Here's the SUV that was all shot out. It all happened in the amount of time. I think I showed you, but you're talking a total of 38 seconds between the first shot and the final shots. And it was a total of 0.42 miles. So that car would have had to go 0.42 miles, the guy get out, all that stuff. It's ridiculous. This video I just want to show one more time was a Freemason who likes to give accounts of his son texting him and telling him that there's shots inside the building that he works and a bunch of BS. Here's the text that I have. It'd be real hard to fake that. You could make a fake text number and text yourself. Absolute joke. All these poor people. At the end of this, I have a video of what went on inside the building, supposedly, where all these people were shot. They're just scaring people. Scaring them. So that they can come and take your guns. Like, oh, we can't have guns anymore. They're shooting up 14 disabled people and lighting up cops and having us shut down the whole city. When it's all fake. He's got a Freemason hat.
Yeah, I know, right? He's got a Freemason hat. Look at him.
Absolute joke. Let me play the video one more time of the helicopter footage so you can see one more time. Then rewind and watch my video again and then try and disprove it.
This has been
right ahead. You will get to the conclusion I get to. I mean, look at all this stuff going on for no reason. Again, I'm not even saying that all the cops are in on it. They don't need to know that it's set up. You just need 10 FBI guys to set this whole thing up, put the whole city in just disarray. Look at this poor lady.
And this is real.
She's crying because her daughter's stuck in the building that the cops have shut down. And they've reported 14 killings inside.
This is how they get people attached to a fake like op.
Yeah, because they mix it up.
They mix it up, and then they have real people with real emotions that they get on camera, and it's real to them.
See, and that's why I use like stuff like this to vet against. So, for instance, that mom they kept on putting up for the Orlando shooting with like her fake.
Oh, you mean the actress?
Yeah, the crisis actress, shit like that.
The DNC. I mean, they put her up. She had her 15 minutes, all right.
Oh fuck yeah! I was like, why
the whole
is she
DNC thing? Yeah, and they had the guy the mass shooter's dad there smiling. Give me a break. What is going on?
No, dude. And okay, this is
they make it so outlandish. Like I said, they make it so outlandish that it's like it's like a reverse of it's just so it's crazy. They do something so outlandish, and then they go, how dare you think that we're making it up, when it's so outlandish that you're like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like, look, I want to share something because this is something I've been looking into too, which I never even really considered. But it's a super real thing. Okay, so I was listening to Dick Gregory on like a bunch of stuff because I heard Prince talking about him in an interview with Tavis Smiley. And I was like, okay, so I'll go listen to this Dick Gregory stuff because that's how Prince found out about chemtrails, was like listening to Dick Gregory. So I was like, oh, interesting. Like, let me hear what this guy is talking about. Because everything that I know about Dick Gregory is just like he's a comedian, right? From like my mom's time, you know, civil rights stuff and like all the other stuff, right? So I'm like, that's interesting. This guy's gonna talk. Then he fucking starts talking about how fucking Trayvon Martin was a fucking like false flag hoax, right? And I never even heard this shit before, right? But he fucking does it justice. Like, here, let me good. Okay, people are seeing it. Let me take the mute button off. Yeah, I'm gonna let him do this.
Peace. Y'all better recheck that out. I'm one of the few people that don't say publicly, I don't think Jemison did it. I know how tricky this government is. Y'all know the story?
Yeah. Tell us the real story. What's your take? Tell us, what's your take? What do you think?
You say what I know? All the major papers reported about the Skittles and the iced tea. You got to hang out with young folks to know. You take Skittles and drop them in iced tea, you get a hit more powerful than crack. You got any grandchildren?
Not yet.
You got any children?
Yeah.
I said, if you hadn't, I'd say it's just too late. Just give up. Just go. How many of y'all knew that? And my 7-year, look at the hands. My 7-year-old grandson said, oh, Dad, if you put Mountain Dew in it, it'll make crack look like Kool-Aid. Okay? That's what's out here. Didn't it bother you to have a homicide that the whole world's fascinated and they told you more that was bought at the store than about the homicide? You didn't feel nothing? So y'all, some of y'all know the story. He's looking at the All-Star, the basketball All-Star game was that Sunday. Huh? At halftime, he ran to the store. We do it all the time. Run down, fix your ham and cheese sandwich, you know. Get your beer. You know, call somebody, so you back. So that's what's in everybody's mind. Except he was killed at 7:17. The ball game didn't start till 8 o'clock. Okay. He laid in the morgue for 3 days as a John Doe. How many of y'all know that? Huh? They came by Monday, the next day morning. Huh? With 3 cops and a chaplain to show the pictures to his father. His father identified him, and they still kept him as a John Doe. I want you to hear this. What's that say? Here, listen to this now. This is the Sentinel League.
Headline, Trayvon Martin's parents settle wrongful death claim.
For over $2 million and nobody reported it. Huh? Okay. This paper here, the
Orlando Sentinel, yeah.
Only one paper reported it.
Homeowners associations thought to have paid more than $1 million. Thought
The
to,
reason they
okay.
thought because it's in federal court under lock and key. He's killed February
26th.
26th.
Yeah.
The insurance policy was taken out March the 30th. When can you buy an insurance policy after it happened and they pay? You see it like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
What?
What?
Yeah, dude.
Who has it?
Who's the beneficiary?
The parents got it. Yeah.
yes.
Y'all should go to black churches. They talk shit like this every Sunday.
Fucking real.
Yeah, the policy went into effect March 30th, a few weeks after Trayvon was shot. Okay, that's odd.
Now, if I got to explain that to you, then y'all need to go to the mental hospital.
That's pretty much it, man.
Give me a rundown on that. What's going on?
Okay, so basically what he's saying is that the official story for Trayvon Martin is that that Sunday he was watching the All-Star basketball game. During the halftime, he went to the store to go buy some like Skittles in Arizona, and then that's when he got shot, like during the halftime. Now, Trayvon Martin got killed at 7:26 or 7:18. The ball game didn't start until 8 o'clock. But this is the official story, right? And then on top of it, the parents filed a fucking like pretty much like an insurance policy for their son after he died, and they paid it out. So basically what he's saying is that this is just as orchestrated as Sandy Hook, 9/11, the Boston bomber, that like these and he's not saying that Trayvon Martin didn't die. He's just saying that he was a pawn who was used in order to create this fabricated paradigm.
And they had a way of paying off the parents to keep their mouth shut.
Exactly.
Crazy. I mean, I don't understand how people can't see, like that girl that was talking to Jeranism on the radio. This is the things that we're talking about. I mean, how could you just dismiss this? How can you just dismiss these things? And I don't understand how people are so trusting of the government with all this evidence. It's just it's crazy.
Dude, I'm gonna pull up this fucking shit. He talks about organ harvesting too, because it's fucking real. Because I it puts a totally different spin, especially for me, like growing up as like a black person in America, and like the things that I've been told about like what's going on and the race paradigm and all of these things. I mean, the way that he describes it, it's like beyond this whole idea that, oh yeah, like hip hop was turned into a weapon. No. Like he's talking about how like how like basically this is beyond this idea of like a rap culture, right? This is like all about this thing where you can pretty much like steal organs, you can do medical testing. You pretty much have this entire group of people who are going to be laid prey upon because they also think that this is happening. So for instance, you live in a bad neighborhood, right? And you have a son, and then all of a sudden, he's shot in a drive-by, right? Then that is a whole thing where like you're just thinking, okay, that's something that happens. I live in a bad neighborhood or whatever. But the way he's describing it is that no, a lot of these people who die in these drive-bys are in situations where they're getting just shot in the head. And they're almost always like young black men. And why men? Because men's organs are worth more than women's organs. I don't know why, but that's pretty much how they fucking describe it. And then on top of it, you've got this thing where they keep they're killing the men, right? And so if the men are out of the picture of the family, the women automatically go on to like welfare, you know, and all of these things. They rely on the state to be the father figure, right? Because it's providing everything that the father figure would provide. But what it's doing is like they're actively poisoning these women so that they can have poisonous kids, that they can like, that they're literally breeding in order to make more organs.
Oh, you guys, you have to check out on Richie's backup channel. It's the agenda of like taking down America. It's a very, very good documentary. I'm halfway through it. It's really good about how the socialist Labians infiltrated, and it's really good. Yeah, keep going.
No, it's fine. That and whose channel is that on?
Richie from Boston's backup channel.
Oh, what's his backup? I don't know anything about his backup channel.
It's like Richie.2 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you go to his channel, you'll see it on the side.
All right, cool. I'm trying to look up this other Dick Gregory video that I found because he also talks about something else that I don't know why I can't remember this. Truth about Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, Maria's saying, wow, so Trayvon Martin's parents agreed to kill him for money, like sacrifice him. I don't doubt people would do that these days. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Good question. Did they agree to it firsthand, or did they just do it, and then that's the way to pay him off?
Yeah, I mean, I don't fucking know, dude. Like,
yeah,
I'm trying to do more like research on this, but I'm not like finding like, because really like whatchamacallit, what was I gonna say? Fucking, he's the only guy to a certain extent that's like saying this. Like every time I like try to research it, it's mostly just him coming up. Oh, and then he also thinks that the Rodney King thing was like a total setup too. And Crow 777 believes that as well. Which is something I also never fucking questioned, right? It's like this whole, it's like a whole list of like things for an entire culture that I like. It's almost like the same thing, right? It's like this Amy chick is like totally refuting all of these things about the flat earth and like whatever. And it's like, yeah, I know that from my paradigm that, yeah, the man is out to get us for like black people and like whatever. But this whole idea of like Oregon, if somebody came up to me and was just like telling me this, I would be like this Amy chick, right? I would be like, come on, dude, seriously, Oregon harvesting and blah, 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 blah. But like, yeah. It wasn't until I heard Dick Gregory and like I already know that I know of this guy. It's also like the way he says it that like makes it more obvious for me. Like, here, I'm gonna put in the state of black media because this is like where I'm gonna play the very thing that like woke up Prince, because the way that he fucking talks to basically to like black people, it's like, it's great because it's like a serious wake-up call, because we're like constantly in this fucking idea that like, oh, like the government's here to take care of us, that they gave us civil rights and like blah 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 blah, but like that's not what's fucking going on, right? Like like why do we assume that these people also like have our like best interest, even though we clearly know that they don't, right?
Well, like, yeah, I think we're way past that. I don't know,
but not as like, well, this is what I'm saying about like ultimately, this is what I
don't understand how people could think the government is out for their best interest. It's not.
Well, Well,
and
no.
especially when they're headed by very evil people.
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
usually
for
it's
sure.
supposed to be a
For sure. But
government
what I
for and
mean-
by the people.
What I mean is like, okay, you're for people in Black culture, you're stuck in a dichotomy because if I went up to like a Black Lives Matter protest, right, and I was saying this to people, they would say I was fucking crazy, even though they're out there protesting about the man.
Or they'd call you an Uncle Tom,
Yeah.
thinking to bully you into. Yeah, it's very. Yeah, I know.
That's
I know.
it's like what I mean, right? It's like they can't even bring themselves to even think these things, right? It's like you already understand that these people are not like for you. So why would you think that they wouldn't be stealing your fucking organs, right? Why is this so hard for you to like? I instantly got it, right? But I'm already on this level where I understand that there's false flags and stuff. But if like I wouldn't say that most people in Black Lives Matter also believes that there's false flags. I don't think that that's what's going on, right? They're in a different state of what it means to be deceived, right? There's all these different sorts of deceptions. It's what I meant about like Amy, right? She believes that this deception of the paranormal exists, but oh no, they would never not tell us, like we don't live on a globe, right? Like
And if you notice about the paranormal thing, they could sit there and they could talk about things that are so out there, yet the shape of the earth gets them so absolutely crazy. And it's like, on one hand, it's a dichotomy that we're living in. It's like, on one hand, you could have this, your mind open up to aliens from a different galaxy and all this other stuff, but you can't think that the people here on Earth are lying to you. So it's just like, what?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's the same thing with like what I'm talking about with this Black culture situation, right? So here, let me let me play this, and it'll go on for a little bit because it's in parts, but everything this guy's saying is like totally on point. And you got to understand too, this is at the state of the Black Union, where it's literally a room full of Black people who are like high upper class Black people who like really think
State of the Black Union? There's such a thing as that?
Yes, it's a conference that happens every year, and basically it's like all the notable, reputable, quote unquote, Black people get up on a stage and have like these roundtable discussions with like the audience, right? So like the audience can come up and ask like these famous Black people like what they think about things, and then it's like the Aspen Ideas Fest but for Black people. I don't know if you know what the Aspen Ideas Fest is, but it's like the hippie version of the Bilderbergs, right? But this is like for Black people. So I'm gonna play it.
All we said here, what needs to be said, we think an illegitimate child.
Also, I'm just gonna go walk my dogs really quick, and I'll be back while it's gonna play.
Child that don't know where their daddy is. America is an illegitimate child because she has no mother. And this is what the problem is. If I work in a coal mine, in a steel mill, and I come here today and put on a suit but don't take a bath, you got stink sitting up here with you. And what has happened to America, we ain't never cleaned up the filth over 400 years. We first put a new suit on and a new dress on and then wonder who's stinking. It's you the one that's stinking. That's what this is. And until we clean this out, until we clean it up, my mama used to grab me and wash my face. America ain't got no mama that's washing her face. She'd pick my nose when it needed to be opened up. She'd look in my ears. All we do is we went from this filth we was in to putting on some new clothes, and nobody has said, hey, somewhere we got to apologize. First, the Black women. White women's okay, but that Black woman went through racist white system and sexist Black meat. And we ain't never said what you've been through. And in spite of that, look at that Black woman. Look at Kathy Hughes. She didn't have the privilege of the ladies' movement when she's putting that empire together. Look at Dorothy Height, huh? Look at all these women that have come through. The late Dolores Tucker. Look at what's going on now with E. Williams talking about Sojourner Truth, and we will have that statue in the White House. Our women, if you think this sister just a politician, what she had to go through to get there, cause she was a woman. And we have never slowed up and said, thank you, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And until we do that, until we are able to do that, I look at Dr. Condoleezza Rice. Hear me. And we tolerate it. She has more PhDs than the president's whole cabinet. Hear me. And you hear me too, black folks. They call her Condi, but they never call Madeleine Albright Maddie, never call Janet Reno Janny. Okay? That's all right. They call Henry Kissinger Dr. Henry Kissinger. And let me tell you, she don't see nothing wrong with it. Let me tell you something. They got a soda pop in America. Blacker than her, they call Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper. Lady. And if you go to the store today when you leave here and don't ask for it by its full title, say, give me a pepper, they'll give you a chili pepper. I wish Bill Clinton was here, so I would apologize to him for you black folks. Now, I mean that. See, you black folks tricked him. You went in that big old black pot and said, here, white boy, you black. And then you went back in that black pot and said, here, Obama, you ain't black enough. What kind of fool is you? What kind of fool is you? You, the Ku Klux Klan did not say Obama too white. You did. And so if Bill was here, Bill, I'm going to apologize to you. Because black folks not only told you, but tricked you. See, I have a son, a chiropractor now, Christian. He's 8 years old. He came to me crying. He said, Dad, my brothers and sisters is laughing at me. I said, why? He said, well, I built me one of these castles, and I make like it's my house. And do you see anything wrong with that? I said, well, how old are you, boy? He said, 8 years old. I said, no, there's nothing wrong with that until you start using it as your address. So I tell Bill Clinton, ain't nothing wrong being black long as you're playing. But when you try to use it as your address, when you try to use it as your address, then I got some serious questions. Have you and your wife and your daughter ever been standing on a street corner in New York and a cab passed you like president? Have you ever had Chelsea pulled over by the white police because her dad there? Mr. President, do you know what it feels like to be a black person, to be a Congress lady, to be a lieutenant governor with 12 doctor's degree and driving down the street and hear the police siren and you start squeezing that steering wheel tight and they pass by you and you thank God, damn thanking God, you didn't do nothing in the first place, Do you know what you did? Didn't you do black? Didn't you black? Didn't you?
Okay, and I just want to pop in here and say too that, like, you know, this fear that he's talking about too is like so great that, like, this idea that they might be stealing our organs on top of it would make motherfuckers.
You said that, but when is he even talking about that?
Oh no. He talks about that in the last one I'm talking about. But this, I think it's here. Maybe it's this one.
And then when you leave,
where he starts talking about like this is where I was talking about he was telling people about chemtrails.
I wish Bill Clinton was here. And you thank God. Damn, thank you, God. You didn't do nothing.
Sorry.
That's what this is about. That's what this is about. And then when you leave, you don't call that bad army. Black men, how? You let cops shoot your mama, your dad,
Oh,
your
that's
daughter in the back and don't do nothing, but you notice they never shot your car. They never took a nightstick and knocked your headlights out.
Oh wait,
Black
maybe
men,
it's
you
not.
should feel ashamed that you think more of your car than you do your mama, than you do your daddy, huh? These are things that need to change while this brother and sisters on their way to the White House.
All right, sorry. Let me find the actual organ harvesting thing. I'll like stop screen sharing for a second. Yeah, I just wanted to use that to like point out that like yeah, people in the Black culture are already in such fear that like, you know, if you bring this paradigm to the situation, it's like so fucking intense, right? Like they can't even, then it's like you already feel trapped, right? So like what else can you do if you're telling them that like these drive-bys are like orchestrated and like all this other stuff, because you already feel like you're trapped, like there's nowhere to go, right? Like what are you gonna do? And that's fucking super real. But like they're already worried about like because, and I think that that's sort of the reason why they do these Black Lives Matters and like all this other stuff. It's like a distraction, right? Like they want you to think that like, oh, it's just the cops that are after you, right? Like it's not the government. It's just like these random ass these bad cops and stuff like that. Like there's nothing to worry about in terms of like the government. Like
they're taking the lowest form of the government and putting it on them when my eye is at the top.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to look at the policies to understand what is being dictated. If I had a whole bunch of money and their pay is they have to do they basically they are given mandates, right? Well, if they don't do what they're going to do, the way that the system is, they're going to weed it out. They're going to lose their job. They have to do what they're told. Well, the people that are doing that have overtaken the system are using people against each other. This is a divide and conquer strategy. The CIA is known for doing this in other countries. They go in whatever the scuttle is, Muslim, Shiite, Shiite, Sunni, say if like you're in Ireland and the whole IRA thing, Serbia and the Serbs have their people, whatever. It doesn't really matter, but they find where there is a fracture and where their emotions, and they use them against one another. They're experts at this. This is how they are conquering the world, is they're using emotions on a local level to divide, and then use that division and the chaos in order to usurp power.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's also about like making people feel like helpless, just totally helpless, that there's just nothing you can do.
Well, which is bullshit. I wanted to are you done screen sharing?
Yeah, you can because I took it off of my screen share. I'm still trying to find this one video. I'll let you know when I find it again, because I'm like,
I just wanted to show this really quick.
Yeah,
I know I
do
showed
whatever-
this last night, but I wanted to show this really quick, Mr. Pickles, because the other thing
Yeah, it got taken down.
I just wanted to show this really quick because it was really crazy how I don't watch TV, so there's a lot of stuff, but I just wanted to show this really quick. How Mr. Pickles, I can't believe this is on television. I mean, even if it's not, I just don't understand how this is so disturbing. Let me show you this one. How this is weaponized media.
Fuck yeah, it is.
And they're using it. I mean, come on, look. Ugh. I mean,
all right, cool. That one. Yeah, that shit's hella fucked up, and there's no reason for it to be. Because, like I was saying when we were watching it yesterday, or the other day, there is no reason, for
no. And these sick people they do this, they do this stuff, and then they're trying to do the stuff they do in the dark and do in secret, and they're trying to normalize it, just like pedophilia, just like they're trying to normalize what they do, and and this is like this is like an outlandish, I can't believe this isn't like, there's nothing. I understand comedy and witty humor and stuff. This is like a satanic dog that does ritual murders. It's just really doesn't. I mean, if you look at this, this is the one that really stuck out to me. This is like a dead. This is like a hooker being tortured.
Yeah.
And this is like the stuff they do, for real. It's the stuff they do.
This is
duct
exactly
tape,
what they do. It's just like animated.
Wearing the head of the hooker that's being tortured, like sculpting her. I mean,
yeah, it's like some what do they call that one movie? Silence of the Lambs. It's like that Silence of the Lamb shit. Look at these images. Oh my god, shit's fucked up. Oh my god, shit's hella fucked up.
It is, dude. I just wanted to show that really quick, just in case,
people,
if you have a kid and he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna watch Mr. Pickles," you're like, "Oh, no, I don't think so."
Yeah, no, totally. And I think there's something to we should show those videos we were showing yesterday of the Flocka stuff and whatever. That shit's real as well. I don't even know what to say about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, just know that there's this drug, Flocka, and I'm just going to do it really quick because they that cartoon got the other one so that no one can watch it. I just want to do a really quick one of like a 2-minute.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
I mean, just in case there's people out there that
are thinking about doing it. Yeah.
Thinking about experimenting. Let me just show this quick one. This is what it does to your brain, and I don't understand how this can be fun. Just really quick. I just wanted to show this because we did that whole thing yesterday, and they banned it worldwide.
Totally.
Come on.
This shit is crazy, yo. I feel so bad, but you can't.
Oh, you should show the Pringles video too.
Most right now, yo. You on the flops? That shit is not funny, bro. You on the flop?
Is it buffering or something?
It's just acting out.
Dude, that Pringles video we saw yesterday too that you found was fucking hilarious.
I'm trying to find it.
That girl on the.
Do you know what the title was?
Oh no, because I think it was a compilation, right? It was like part of a compilation. Like maybe it's that next one that's like showing up.
Missouri got rain bombed just while this is loading. Yeah, just my computer's acting out. It's just horrible. Whatever.
It's okay. Well, I have that.
It's not
I
loading.
have that one video of Dick Gregory talking about the Oregon harvesting. It's only like 3 minutes long.
Some have dubbed it the insanity drug because of the crazy things people have done after using it. Now agencies are on the lookout for it on tri-state streets.
Now on your sides, Jordan Burgess examines what parents need to know about this latest drug danger, Jordan.
Well, the drug is called gravel, and according to reports, it led one man to try to break down the door of a police department, another to streak through the streets, claiming his clothes had been stolen. We're asking if the drug is showing up in the tri-state. An old drug with a new name, now creating some new problems.
Because aggressive, violent behavior.
Known as Flocka, the drug is grabbing headlines across the country after getting its start in Florida.
The latest synthetic compound that's raising concern among public health experts.
So what is Flocka? Those with the Hamilton County Crime Lab say it's a type of bath salt, like those that swept through Ohio a few years ago.
Oh, there's
right here.
That crazy bitch.
Check this, dude. He's just trying to enjoy his Pringles. Oh God, what happened?
It's like, I'm gonna get you, bitch. Give you them Pringles, yo.
He said, chill, biatch.
Oh, damn, we didn't even get to see that much last time.
Yeah. Look, he's just letting it happen.
That's crazy.
Look, I don't understand. Look, he obviously is more powerful than her, but
probably doesn't want to break her in half.
But she's threatening his life. She's threatening his life. I don't know.
This really is his brain on drugs. You remember that old commercial? That's very sharp, and he has to be tightly restrained by paramedics because he is high.
Oh yeah, those bath salts too, man. That shit's fucked up.
Every story is one of thousands about people chasing that next time. In the last week alone,
Bath salt survivor. That's hilarious.
To bath salt. Freddie's story is not unique as a former user. It's unique because he is a survivor.
What you mean?
People have psychotic episodes, screaming at demons only they see, dangers only they
I've never seen a drug.
They can get violent, lashing out at themselves or at strangers. Picking fights with white cars.
Oh shit, dude.
They're often oblivious to the risks they take, climbing barefoot under a high ridge, rolling around, literally rolling around in traffic.
They do a lot of that rolling, a lot of that like.
The heartbeat accelerates so high, the internal body temperatures. The inaptly named drug bath salts is suspected of being behind all of the scary incidents. Although bath salts is the main name, there's lots of other slang for the drug. Everything from bubbles to bonsai fertilizer. It's made with ads and harmful synthetic chemicals, most often MD. bizarre story out of Appleton this morning. An 18-year-old man is behind bars, accused of attacking drivers on Highway 441 while naked.
Hey, good evening to you. There are many questions tonight about a naked man walking along a highway in Appleton. He not only slowed traffic, police say he attacked those who tried to help.
Drivers reported seeing a naked man walking on the side of the road, causing distraction for motorists.
And there were multiple 911 calls.
Sergeant David Lund says before officers arrived on scene, the 18-year-old man attacked a woman who pulled over to see if he was okay.
While she was stopped, he charged at her vehicle and was somehow able to get her driver's door open, punched her repeatedly.
When officers arrived on scene, the man started yelling at police to shoot him.
Because of the way he was acting, because of his lack of cooperation, he did end up being tased.
They say they're still trying to figure out how he got on the highway in the first place.
There was no other vehicle that they found close by. They did not find any other clothing nearby, so they're really wondering where exactly he initially came from.
Shows the moment an accused killer came crashing through a fence, smashing into a 7-Eleven. That's where he reportedly fought with customers and police before finally being taken into custody.
It gives me chills. It gives me chills, and it makes me feel more comfortable that I stayed inside with my dog.
When the car went through the fence, it bent some of the rods and pushed the whole thing to the other side of the road. Not even a mile away, the escape ended. He crashed into this 7-Eleven, hitting the building so hard, ceiling tiles fell down. The guy somehow got out of the car, bloody and naked, and when someone tried to help him, he attacked. It took at least 4 officers to pin this guy down, spreading blood on the sidewalk and police. But some heard the victim crying out.
About 5 minutes of a horror movie. Screaming, yelling. It stopped for a few minutes and then horrifying.
What's most important is for parents to be aware of this latest drug threat.
So far, Ohio officials say few are using Flocka in the state, and Hamilton County hasn't seen any recent cases. But everyone is keeping an eye on the threat the drug could pose if it gets here.
Certainly something that we're going to continue to remain vigilant.
Whoa! That was like.
What are we seeing right now?
The guy just jumped up and attacked the cop. This is in Poland.
He's trying to eat the officer. Oh damn! See, I told you he's trying to bite people, yo.
Yeah, it's literally demonic possession. I've never seen a drug so demonic in my life.
That's why you guys stick to smoking weed, yo. Like real weed, not that fake shit. You know what bothers me about
I've done drugs my whole life. Just a really quick synopsis on that. But I've been clean for the past since 2015, February 11th. And it's like a whole new lease on life. If you get about 3 weeks out of whatever drug that you're using, once you clean up and get into a program and actually want to do it, it really changes your whole life with your family, with your friends, with your everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime you have a situation or a relationship with a drug that pretty much controls your decisions, then yeah,
Look, this dude got high and he was like, "Oh, I just want to have a good time." Like, look, just take a look, dude. Like, is he having a good time? I don't know.
It's bad news bears all day.
Look.
Like the
it seems like they want to crawl out of their skin, and they're trying to fight. They're trying to get out of their skin. Their spirit is. This is what the Bible talks about. These so crazy. It also talks about Pharmakia at the end time in the end times.
He did not. He hit the gas. He was hitting the gas. He did not try to stop at all.
See how they roll?
Yeah, I
They
know.
roll. They roll, and they're trying to get out of their body.
Yeah, and they're always clutching their like their head, right? Like they're always like, oh, like their brain, like as if they're trying to like split their brain open.
They're trying to escape.
Well,
They
yeah,
can't.
yeah, that's what I mean, man.
Look.
Yes, yes. Stop it. All right, let's stop it. Stay down. Stay down. Seizure or something.
No, it's demonic possession. It opens you up to demonic possession.
Absolutely, man. All day. Well, and then I think it's also interesting how like a lot of these things were beta tested on the fucking military, right? Like that's who it was originally advertised to. It's like people in the military who had to get drug tested all the time. And like these were the first people I even knew that were doing shit like that. Were like people who were like in the military and stuff like that. Like to me,
People in the military would do this drug?
Yeah.
It doesn't really mesh to me. Really?
Well, yeah, because it doesn't show up in piss tests, right?
Yeah, that's fine, but like I'm talking about why would you want to act? Why would you? Doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense?
This doesn't seem like a good time. Just because you could piss test, I could drink battery acid. That wouldn't show up on a piss test, but I'm not going to do it. Like what?
Well,
a lot of stuff doesn't show up on a piss test.
Well, dude,
who cares?
I mean, it doesn't like you're trying to think about it in the idea that like, oh, they care that it's fun, right? It has nothing to do with fun. It has to do with like escape, right? It's all about.
Doesn't seem like they're escaping anything.
Well, it doesn't seem like that to you, but like there's a reason.
It doesn't seem like that to him.
Well, it doesn't. There's a reason why these people go back to it, right? Like there's a reason why these people keep on doing it.
Does he feel like he's really? Does he feel good?
Maybe.
It seems like a drug that would like you do it once and you'd be like, "What the hell was that?" Like,
I don't think that's
it does.
I don't think that's the case. Not from what I've experienced. It's like, yeah, this is how people fucking act.
You've done it?
No, but I'm saying like I know plenty of people in the military that smoked spice, that did this bath salt stuff because it was the only drugs that they.
How do you do bath salts?
What?
How do you do bath salts?
I think you like smoke it like crack, sort of. I think it's like you freebase it.
And it's like literally bath salts?
No. They call it bath salts because
they just call it bath salts.
Yeah, they call it bath salts because it looks like bath salts. It's like all these perfectly square little like crystallized things. Like bath salts. It's like exactly what it looks like.
Jesus. I believe this.
Breaking news, zombies are here. It's hilarious.
What is this? Did they just edit in oh, okay.
Is it fake?
Obviously. Why did they just? Oh, because they're comparing it to zombies. Huh.
Here, let me play this this organ harvesting. It's only 3 minutes, and I think it has to do with what we were talking about in terms of we were originally talking about with what's his face, Rockefeller, getting his fucking 7th fucking transplant, and like, yeah, this organ harvesting shit is fucking real.
Drive-by shooting.
He had no drugs in him.
I'm worth $50 million and I need a kidney. You know, kidneys are pretty sensitive. You got to find somebody who really got the kidney that matches yours. You think I'm gonna wait till somebody die for me to get one? If I don't get one soon, I'm gonna die. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay somebody to go research people. Okay, let's go look at all the black organ donors. Let's look at all the black people who got organ donor on their driver's license, which is why I'm not a friend of that. I said, if you want to donate your organs, put it in your will. Say that if I die, this could go to my family, my relatives, my friends, or whomever. But when you put it on your license, I believe you make yourself a public target. And so what did they find? We got a guy in Los Angeles. He has the same blood type as you, same kidney type as you, likely.
Mm-hmm.
He healthy.
I've always thought that.
Time soon. He don't know you, so he ain't gonna give you no organ for free. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna arrange a murder that makes it look like he was in a car accident. We're gonna arrange a murder that make it look like he committed suicide. So the next thing you know, you coming out the gas station, boom, you get hit by a Mack truck, you dead, gone. You get taken to the funeral home, your family come to the funeral, they don't know that before your body got laid to rest, a little hole was poked and they pulled your kidney out.
A lot of people don't know, when you get arrested or even when you get convicted, a lot of times law enforcement or police will swab your mouth for DNA. And now they have your DNA record on file, they have your genetic information on file. And you have to understand, with law enforcement, a lot of times they'll sell your information to tabloids and especially celebrities. They sell their information to tabloids and magazines and news outlets all the time. So it's not a stretch to believe that they won't use your DNA or your genetic information for nefarious reasons.
You, my son, cops come by and inform me you just been shot dead. You don't have jurisdiction over that body. That's the coroner. You can't get that body till the coroner release you. So we'll get released, we go down and pick it up, and I see all these cuts and these stitches. I just thought they was doing a routine investigation following the bed. I know you took your organs. I'm under all this stress, my son is dead. Now you buried now, I can't dig you up because the court got the permission. Most of those cases is organ stealing.
It's been known for a long time, even back in slavery times, that black organs were considered superior genetically to other folks' organs. For example, whenever there's a transplant, okay, especially when rich folks get heart transplant, liver transplant, kidney transplant, they like black organs. We had a famous case in Pennsylvania, Governor Casey, who was one of the most racist governors who ever lived back in the late 80s, early 90s. He had a heart transplant. Guess whose heart they gave? A black person's heart.
Down in Georgia, there was a case of an African-American 17-year-old kid who was found mysteriously dead at school. He died in the gym, they did an autopsy and they buried him. His family, they weren't satisfied with the results because they still wanted to know what happened to their son. They had the body exhumed, found out that his organs were missing and his body was stuffed with newspapers, and people are still trying to find answers. The officials down there in Georgia, they act like they don't know what's going on. There was another case out here in California. A young African-American man was found dead in Death Valley in the desert. All of his organs were missing. His liver, heart, lungs, kidneys, all gone.
Damn.
In the UK recently, a Somalian girl was brought over there for organ harvesting. They found out that they were going to harvest her organs and they stopped that. There was another case in Asian couples. They went over to Africa. They adopted a black girl. 2 weeks later, she was dead. So these cases of organ harvesting are just going on all over the world, and people are being real quiet about it.
Dude. And so, like, that's what I mean, too, about this idea that, oh, like, yeah, the government's just, like, you know, doing this thing where, I mean, I don't even know where to start on situations like this. Like, this shit is fucking deep. right? And so think about it, okay? Who was the last like black person that got? Oh, good point, right? The Mississippi, or not Mississippi, fucking the thing that was going on in Wisconsin or whatever. So like every time they kill another one of these like black people, Trayvon Martin, blah blah blah, blah, like take Trayvon Martin for instance, right? Like they would just like pay this family off because it's just easier to hide it. I think that they paid them off for the organs.
Trayvon Martin got his organs taken?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, that they're using this as like a double thing, right? Because that's what they were saying at the beginning of this video, was that this idea that they research you, right? They research who's got the right blood type, who's got the right situation. So then they find these kids, right? Because the younger the better. And then they go and they stage these whole situations, but they get to take the organs, right? It's like they're going to take the organs anyways. Why don't you use these deaths, because you're going to kill them, right? You're going to mysteriously disappear this person,
Yeah.
right?
Kill two birds with one stone, literal.
Exactly, dude.
This was brought up by, I think, Marie or Illusion Shattered.
Okay.
Illusions. This is 33 people. She was just alluding to, obviously 33. But I'm reading this really quick. With the apocalyptic scene. Dozens of half-dead people blindly staggered through the streets of a Brooklyn neighborhood known as Zombieland.
I was talking
Tuesday
about this
morning,
a couple of days ago.
propping up themselves up against fire hydrants and vomiting foam down their shirts. But the apocalyptic scene wasn't a movie. The victims had apparently smoked a bad batch of the synthetic marijuana. Oh, the K2. This is what you're talking about.
Yeah. Dude, this entire like 3 blocks of fucking people in Brooklyn were just all fucked up.
And what I'm saying is I'm thinking that this obviously happened, right? But I don't know if there was 33. It's just crazy how there's always 33.
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm saying? Like 33, like it's probably there's probably like I don't know. It's always, they always come up with the same number. Yeah, the numbers keep coming up, and it's like I think they change numbers and things to, I don't know. What do you think about this? 33, the zombie, the K2, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because there's no way. There's no way.
And then all of a sudden 33 people got high at the same time and did all this. It's just like really weird.
No, absolutely. And I think that like the vetting of people, that also goes to like what, and I don't mean to like bring it back to organ harvesting or anything, but okay, so for instance, you have these like situations where you have Black Lives Matter and they like go and they riot and they protest and whatever, and then you get to round up, you get to like arrest as many people. This is what he was saying about the Rodney King thing, right? Was because Dick Gregory, he was talking about the riots. He was saying that like there was a bunch of newspaper articles after the riots, like that 18,000 people supposedly were arrested during that time, but only 10,000 of them were accounted for.
Right.
So he's saying that, and the same thing with the Mexican children, right? Like there's no way that you can, like you could, I guess there could be possibly a way for like, say for instance, like these 33 dudes, right? I guess you could find the police station that they all got like sent to, or the hospital or whatever, interview the EMTs, but like still it's like there's no way that you can verify the number to a certain extent,
right,
in a way that it's like, oh yeah, and like this was all in the newspapers.
This is PCP. We had somebody in the chat wanted to check out some PCP.
Yeah, that shit's fucked up, like for real. My brother is like semi-addicted.
Oh, this is New York, isn't it? Oh.
Yeah, that PCP shit's no fucking joke.
See, this feels like he's feeling good, even though he's tripping.
This is the consequences of when you smoke wet.
Smoke what?
Wet. Yeah, that's what they call it. Wet. Getting wet.
Dipping the cigarette.
I guess so. Yeah. And like you know about like the death sticks, right? Or like the cigarettes dipped in the formaldehyde.
Isn't that PCP?
No, it's different.
Mm.
It's like literally formaldehyde. Like people.
I thought that. So it has like the same kind of effect, or what?
Well, I mean, formaldehyde, I think has. Yeah, I think it is a different kind of effect. I mean, I think people like compare those two a lot, but I think that they have a different sort. Because I've seen people like be really like drowsy and just be like really just almost like they're in a K-hole, right?
Yeah, Bernie Trump crashed.
Yeah, he's not around.
Didn't even want that video. Wanted the Flocka one. Come on, buddy.
It's not working.
Yeah, it's all whack.
I can play it on mine.
Got it.
Isn't that the one you were playing before?
Mm. No, I wanted this 2-minute little Flocka one. Let me see the chat. This one right here.
He's high.
He is. I mean, I'm very familiar with the drug scene. But when I saw this stuff on Flocka, I was like really taken aback. I was like, wow.
Well, I gotta say too that fucking this like ketamine shit that's going on too is like really fucked up and weird because I went to I've been trying to like go to like more music festivals and stuff. You know, I like jam bands and all that other bullshit, and like all the ones I went to this year were like, you know, they're advertised as jam festivals, like hippie festivals and stuff. And then I get there and it's like all this fucking like digital noise music. Like it's not even music, it's just like noise. It's just like noises. And every time I go there too, it's like usually I'm expecting to get like, you know, the usual psychedelics, but no, it's all fucking K. Like, I'm lucky if I find somebody with, like, some mushrooms or something like that. It's, like, all K, and I'm like, no wonder they're playing this fucked up weird music, because you would have to be on fucking K to think this shit is good, right? And I was just like, man, what is going on with the fucking festival scene right now? Like, what is going on? Like, why are people just in this fucking situation where it's just all about pills and powders and like nobody wants to expand their mind? They just want to be in this and that's what I mean about, like, you know, it doesn't matter if it's fun, right? It has to do with escape. And at this point, like, the generation that we're dealing with has this idea that, like, escape has nothing to do with, like you don't have to feel blissful. You don't have to, like, learn anything. That's not, like, part of what it is. It's like, oh, I'm just going to escape into not being in this reality no matter what, right? Because otherwise, I can't even possibly see how you'd want to be, like, half asleep for, like, almost the entire day. And that's what fucking K does to you.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the property.
And, like, the other thing, too, is, like, there's a reason why, like, people can get their hands on this shit. But, like, you know, you be damned if you try to get some ayahuasca or some ibogaine.
Is he getting pulled? How is he doing that?
I have no fucking idea. I think he's crawling.
How? Oh, I thought he was
Like,
being pulled.
Oh, no, I think he's just scooting forward. It's a fucking psycho. Jesus. The guy's moving too, man. The cop's like running away. That's awesome. Look at him
Gnarly.
go. This shit's quick, yo. He's hella quick too. Damn, dude.
He was scooting along.
Dude, he's like on him. That's hilarious. Well, cool. Anybody else have any in the chats have any like requests for anything else they might want to discuss or talk about? Because yeah.
I don't fucking Pharmakia. Yeah. It doesn't seem like a good time. Yeah, so I don't know, man. We got this flash flood that just happened. This was like what, an hour ago or something, or they're reporting this flash floods in Missouri now. This is a rain bomb. They're saying that the is coming up like car height now. I mean, so we're having the same thing repeated. We're having earthquakes that are leveling, shallow earthquakes that, and it was only reported as a 6.2, but just really quick, it's such gnarly devastation.
Yeah.
It was so
Go ahead.
shallow. Just look at some of the pictures really quick before we wrap up. Yeah, and they're pulling people out that were like stuck underneath the rubble and concrete for a long time, and I saw them pulling out one person they got, but people would just be alive, but they'd be stuck not being. I mean, this is terrifying. That's terrifying to be in that situation. 278. So if you add them up, there's the 7 again, 17. It's always sevens. There's always sevens. Always sevens and 33s. It's just always, you know, 2 times 7. It's always sevens. It's crazy.
And now,
let me just see.
There's also something to say too. I mean, I don't know if you, I don't know why I can't fucking find it right now. Let me see if I can find it. But basically, I was reading this article earlier today about, dude, Facebook is doing some fucked up weird shit where they're like, I'm posting things on Facebook, and these fuckers are just like, they're just like taking shit off my page. But basically, what it was they were talking about the people in like Mississippi's getting flooded. Who just got Louisiana, right? Okay, Louisiana. The people who are now able to like just get back to their homes and all of this stuff or whatever, the the fucking local governments around there are pretty much telling people that they need permits in order to like fix their homes and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like you're all
and then not only that,
washed away.
Italy, they have these camps set up, like these big, huge camps. No one has anything. These people escape with dust covered, if their lives. They have nothing. Everything is in rubble. They don't have anywhere to sleep. So where are they going to go? So they put them in these camps. Literally, I'm really tossed between if this is weather warfare or if this is Planet X. A big part of me wants to say that this is Planet X. Like, this is the effects that they were talking about. This is the climate chaos that the French president was talking about. They knew this was coming. This is why they're building underground tunnels and shit. You know? I mean...
Where are they building the underground tunnels?
Everywhere. China, USA, Russia is actually taking the citizens under. They're building them huge. America's not. They're just doing it for the elite. I'll do that next.
Yeah, yeah.
But look at this. I've been in a 6.0 earthquake. It didn't do this much damage. This is crazy. This is like a 9.
Yeah.
But it was so shallow that it was like so violent and so long that it literally shook. It shakes the houses until they're crumbled. So everything, if you're inside the house and there's a lot of concrete, a lot of this, a lot of that, and it's not, it seems like it's a lot of old foundation, a lot of old, like, you know.
No, because a lot of that stuff is built way better than half the shit that people in San Francisco live in. Like, there's a reason why those towns have lasted, like, hundreds of years, right? This isn't the first time that earthquakes happened in Italy. Actually, Italy has earthquakes fucking all the time, right? So they're, you know, that's what I mean. It's like they're doing this thing where it's like, oh yeah, the fucking buildings are just old and blah 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 blah. Like they did the same thing in Tibet. Like when they fucking had that earthquake there, like last year or the year before that, they just like totally turned everything into rubble, right? Like all these places, all these temples that were considered holy and have been standing up for thousands of years and all of this other bullshit. Like, come on, give me a break. Like, now all of a sudden this shit falls down and turns.
Yeah, but if you have an earthquake that hits, that is super shallow and it's actually like on. See, when here there it was like in Whittier and stuff. When in Whittier it was gnarly, like people's like stuff, like it was messed up. But like this is like devastating. This is like leveled. This is leveled. This is, I mean, I live in California my whole life. I'm used to earthquakes, but not like this. This is like devastating.
Well, that's what I guess I mean, right? Is that they're not the 6.0s that they're saying that they are, because these structures have like survived those things.
Well, and you have to look at the depth, and you have to look at the vicinity of where it hit. Say if they're was a 5 and it was out at sea, you would feel it, right? But sometimes it's like it's deep within the earth. You feel like but this one was like less than 10 feet. I mean, less than like, it was at the CERN level, which that was another thing. I forget who told me that. It was on a comment on mine, and they said that it was the same depth as CERN, which was kind of interesting. But look at this.
Why would they even mention that? That's
I don't know.
Weird.
No, it was a comment.
Oh, okay.
But see how they're setting up these camps? Yeah, I mean, until these people figure it out, they got these camps, and I'm expecting to see these in U.S. very, very soon, very soon. I mean, if not already. I mean.
Well, I mean, like, look at Merkel. She told everybody to fucking stock up, like it's about to be the apocalypse.
Yeah, and then this hits, or did she say that, and then this hit?
That's a good question. I think that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, because Merkel actually said that. This was like what, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Merkel said that like about 6 days ago.
And so this is almost like a warning, right? Like, I'm telling you, stock up, man.
I don't know how they know what they know. If that's why it's confusing. I don't know if they know something, or they have like they obviously either they're doing this with weather weapons, or they know with some high-tech equipment that
that these are naturally going to happen.
That they're going to happen, and they can predict them, and they're just not coming out and saying it. But they're coming out and making cryptic things like, "Oh, stock up on food." You know what?
Well, you know what
think about the people that were in these houses that stocked up on food and had bullets, and they were to the tilt. They got shook and they died if in these things. So, like, what if they're not telling us the right information? Like, oh, there's gonna be an earthquake. These people were caught off guard. At least tell them what's going on.
Well, I think from what my understanding with HARP is that HARP doesn't just create weather, right? They also can amplify it, right? They can make the force of it go up to exponential rates.
And it's not just HARP.
Yeah.
It's other things like NextRad and all different types of radio frequency. Yeah.
Exactly. So what I mean by even mentioning that is more like, say, for instance, they know that something is naturally going to occur. They will use these weapons to amplify it or increase the power of it. Like the 35 tornadoes that just happened to fucking show up, right? You know, like these 3 storms that are converging onto Florida, right? It's like
Yeah, it's definitely heating up. There's definitely something weird with the weather. You can't deny it anymore. It's like it's happening everywhere. It's not just in one country. It's happening sporadic. And this is what I said about Planet X. It would be the apocalypse, and it would be in different areas. But if people that aren't in those areas would carry on life as normal until that area got affected. So people in Los Angeles are carrying on, oh, life is, normal. It's not the apocalypse to them. But if you're in Italy, this is the apocalypse. See what I'm saying? So
no, absolutely. And I think that there's something to say too, that like, for instance, we're like about to start, like we're gonna vote in like less than 70 days. And how fortunate is it that a lot of these things are happening in the Trump strongholds, right?
Wait, what?
Well, think about it. Okay. Think about all the red states that are planning to vote in November, right? All the Trump strongholds. If you're washing away entire communities of people that are supposed to vote for Trump, right? Like, where are they going to even vote, right?
They're not going to. Oh my God! Wow.
Right?
Wow.
How many times are they going to do this before fucking November 8th?
And how many of the states were red that got hit?
Exactly. They're all red. They're all red.
Wow.
No blue states got hit. These are all people who like are already fucking like, the kind of Republicans that you think of when you think of Republicans, right? So that's
one tornadoes in a day?
In Indiana, where Mike Pence is from, how fortunate is that?
tornadoes. See what I'm saying? This is why the weather warfare also is in my mind, because it's like, what the hell? What the hell? Obviously, using a good crisis go to waste, but they're using this. And what better time to use the weather weapons when this is converging?
Yeah.
So I don't know if, I mean, there might not even be a Planet X. There might
That's
be,
what
they
I'm
might
saying,
be just
man.
doing. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like everybody's just witnessing this shit. Like, what is going on? How many? Let's see the red state, blue state, and I'll let me see if what's red. I didn't even think of that.
Dude, that's all I've been thinking about ever since West Virginia happened. Because at the time when West Virginia got hit, Trump and Hillary were just in this fucking big old argument about how, like, Trump was saying, like, because Hillary had went down there and she was like, oh yeah, you know, like, I have no intentions of, like, maintaining your jobs, like, you know, I'm getting rid of the whole minor thing. And Trump was like, look, this bitch is not for you. Like, she's not planning on, like, making sure that you guys have an economy that you can work in and blah, 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 blah. And then what happens? West Virginia gets flooded. And then what happens? Like literally almost right at, like, Missouri, Trump was just there, like 4 days ago. Let me look at the Donald Trump website. And Mike Pence is from Indiana. He's the governor of Indiana.
And then all of a sudden, 41 tornado, 41 in one day. 41 tornadoes. I mean, that's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous, dude. Like, Thor News does a really fucking good thing on it, too. What was I about to look up? Shit, I forgot. Why can't I find the Thor News? Thor News. There we go. But yeah, these are all fucking, like, Republican strongholds. They're not even, like, anywhere close to, like, being, like, the kinds of places that, like, are, like, maybe they'll vote for Trump, or no, these are states that, oh, that's what I was going to look at.
There is what William Cooper talked about. There is a far left. It's a communist, fascist, like, killing machine out of control in our government. It's I don't even want to call it left. I have a lot of friends that are Democrats. I don't even want to lump them into this. They're not. This
You're
isn't
not.
them.
You're not. It's the same idea of, like, you know, understanding that just because people orchestrated 9/11, that people didn't die, right? You have to understand that, like, the people are separate from the program, right? Like, all the people that are in Black Lives Matter aren't in this, like, situation where they're on the phone with George Soros every day, right? Like, things are being navigated, right? Things are being run from the top. Things are, like, and people are being herded into these opinions and certain demographics based on feelings, right? Like, that's what's going on. Like, and it's Mississippi.
They are burning lots of oil. I saw that on the news yesterday. I was in Pico Rivera and I stepped into a Wendy's.
Look, oh, dude, I saw this. Oh my God, I saw this. I watched this speech. Okay, fucking Donald Trump was in Mississippi, in Jackson, Mississippi 2 days ago. 2 fucking days ago. And guess who he had as his fucking presenting speaker? Nigel Farage from the fucking Brexit. And he fucking stood up on that goddamn podium and he was here. I've got to play it for you guys. He stood up on that goddamn podium and he was like, look, motherfuckers, I understand that you feel like, you know, Hillary's going to win because, you know, everybody's talking shit about Donald Trump. But really, what's really going on is that you have the fucking power to make shit happen, because that's exactly what they told us with the Brexit. All the polls were telling us that we were fucked, that there was nothing we could do. It's not true. And I think that there's something to say about like what's really going on with all of this. Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, I don't know where did you go, buddy? Dude. I think we lost James. Where'd you go, man? Let's see if we can invite him or something. I don't know where he went. We're clearly still streaming. Let's see. What is going on? Hello, James. Where did you go, buddy? Are we still streaming? Is anybody in the chat still listening to me? Can you guys hear me? Type if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Thank you, Derek. Because I have no idea what's going on. All right. Well, let me see if here I'll play this Brexit thing for you guys, because I think this shit's real. Like this shit just happened in Mississippi, and look how fortunate we are to have fucking Nigel Farage show up at Trump.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you. Good evening, Mississippi. I come to you from the United Kingdom with a message of hope and a message of optimism. It's a message that says, if the little people, if the real people, if the ordinary decent people are prepared to stand up and fight for what they believe in, we can overcome the big banks. We can overcome the multinationals. And we did it. We made June the 23rd our Independence Day when we smashed the establishment. And we did it. Everybody said we'd lose. And what did we see? We saw experts from all over the world. We saw the International Monetary Fund. We saw Moody's. We saw Standard & Poor's. We saw global leaders giving us Project Fear, telling us that if we voted not to be run by a bunch of unelected old men in Brussels, yeah, well, it's okay. They don't like me either, so it doesn't really matter, does it? But they told us our economy would fall off a cliff. They told us there'd be mass unemployment. They told us investment would leave our country. And David Cameron, then our Prime Minister, but no longer, told us we might even get World War III.